Before we begin, I want to give you an intro on what Satori is
Please do.
and give you like the context as to why we're even here in the first place.
It would
Because
be-
it started awkwardly in the kitchen where I was just like, want to do a thing? And you were like, yeah, let's do a thing. And I was like, sweet. I knew James was the perfect man for this. So here's the context. Satori is the Ark of Truth. Now, the Ark is a reference to Noah's Ark, which was a vessel that was designed to protect animals from going extinct. So the Ark of Truth is a vessel that protects the truth. And so Satori, she is a vessel that only carries the truth. And so in us sitting down together, the purpose is to speak only of the highest truth. And for this specific episode, I want to go through your Satori story, which is where I will navigate this wonderful vessel. She's a sloop. I already told you this. Through the infinite ocean of which she sails with you. And you will just flow and tell me whatever comes up as it arises. And you'll just be that which you are, which is James. Okay? Now, before you board, there's a boarding process. Okay, Satori preserves the word of I. Now, I is a reference to divinity, God, that which is source, supreme being, whatever you want to call it. So, are you willing to say I to board this vessel?
Aye.
And we're off, mate. Set the sails. Okay, so tell me your name 3 times, please. Your full birth name 3 times. And I just want to tune into you and connect with you. And then I'll say a short little prayer and then we're in it and we'll get started.
Okay. My name is James Joseph Brookes. James Joseph Brookes. James Joseph Brookes.
Wonderful. Okay, cool. And so as we are now on this vessel, I'm just going to say a short little prayer, which is that in the name of thee, O Lord, divinity, supreme being, whatever name you want to call upon that which is nameless, we ask for a golden bubble of fine light to hold us in this space and protect us from that which is not in service to the highest of mankind, and allow us to sail through this infinite ocean as a wondrous sloop that is here to spread the truth. Amen. Okay.
Amen.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, man. So like, James, let me just go through some rapid fire contextual questions. Where were you born?
I was born in the UK.
How old are you now?
I'm 37.
Wow. Okay. Did you grow up in the UK?
I never grew up. No, I
Good
did.
response. Good response.
I did. I grew up in the UK until I was about the age of 17.
Okay. Now I want to go through childhood a little bit. Okay. Traumatic, not traumatic?
I was brought up by Rottweilers.
What does that mean?
I mean, both my parents were Rottweilers.
Like the dog.
They were fearsome and aggressive. They didn't bite, but they definitely knew how to.
Okay.
Yeah, this is something
Discipline.
Massively.
Okay.
More so on my father's side, very much so.
Wow, me too.
Yeah. That's there was a fine line, I could not cross it.
Mm.
Um,
Is it beneficial to you now that you had that experience?
I've spent a lot of time being reflective of it
Mm.
and taking it in as much of a quality as I can. So I want to say yes, but there's also a no associated to it.
How tell me about the fine line. Like give me some like an example of some sort. Define it for me. Maybe
Right.
you find a memory of some sort like
Well, an example is when I arrived and we had discussed a time and I was really adamant that I wouldn't be arriving on time because on time is late.
mm.
And it actually worked out really well because I wasn't on time, I was late. But there was flow behind it. But these are certain things that give me sort of a perimeter to work within.
Mm.
And I try and maintain that as best as I can. And I fall out the lines. I don't think I was built for to be inside of them
Yeah.
to some extent. Yeah.
So like was he super strict about you like misbehaving? Like would he scream at you and stuff like this? Like my dad was like
Yeah.
that where sometimes he would
Yeah.
scream and like
Yeah. I really associated it to, hmm, I associated it to his work. He wore a suit to work
mm.
with shiny shoes and a tie,
Oh.
and he took it very seriously. And I would overhear his business calls, and he would be very passionate about what he was doing. And I suppose I felt like I was a bit of an employee at his firm, and
Mm.
he was very firm.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Um, he just wouldn't be very tolerant.
What was his business?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
He worked in a paper merchant.
Okay.
So he was a managing director, I believe, of a big paper merchant in Birmingham.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shifting gears. What did your mom do?
My mum was a housewife.
Wow. So she just loved you.
So she was, yes. I also had au pairs.
You had what?
Au pairs.
What is that?
It's, well, in my case, they were extra carers that were actually related.
Oh.
So I had an auntie who would look after me. I think this was when I was very young. I think perhaps 2 or 3 onwards. And she would live at the house and she would help with the chores, cooking and cleaning and such. And I had a sister as well, so we probably weren't the most easiest.
Were you not that? Was your mom not that present with you then because of these helpers, or?
I, I feel like she was present, but not to the greatest capacity. I feel like she definitely cared.
Where was she?
She would have her own life. She'd be doing aerobics
What is
and
that?
it's like exercise when you, it's like,
Aerobics. Got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A little bit of an accent on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so she would definitely be present. But it, yeah, she was present. She did what she had to, but I felt like she didn't. Here's how I feel. I sense that it was still quite overwhelming for her. So any of the help that she could get was constructive.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe she was a little bit overwhelmed by it all, and so she needed help, so to say.
yeah, well, so when I said to you that both my parents seem like Rottweilers,
Yeah.
I meant it in the sense that they could both be quite fiery
Mm-hmm.
and that they would be having a short fuse before the explosion, and therefore that is the behavior of a Rottweiler.
Why do you think they were like that?
I would say it was a lot to do with their belief systems and the inability to control their aggression.
What was the core belief do you think that led to short fuse?
Oof. Insecurity.
Insecurity. Wow.
It could also be relative to. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like my dad would have. His presence could be quite threatening. And so treading on eggshells, and
Yeah.
so that could be, trying to keep on top of things, because he was very authoritative. He was almost quite militant,
Maybe trying to control things,
massively.
like big controlling, like
Yeah, totally.
difficult to let go of control.
It was prevalent for him to have some degree of control. He's a micromanager at heart.
We have a degree of which we have the same father.
You really?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Totally fine.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. I felt like I was an absolute chaotic, rebellious child.
You were?
Massively.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Yeah, Matt.
Okay, let's just go there. I
right,
love that.
yeah.
What was so rebellious and crazy about you?
It didn't make any sense the way that there was such authority over the common day living. Like there was certain rules that I would have to follow. So I would just I'll give you an example.
Yeah, give me an example.
Dad comes home with his new executive company car. It's a BMW. He's quite smart about it. He's like, I got this BMW. It's state of the art. It's got
posh.
It's posh.
Posh.
It's posh. It's got automatic windows. It's got an alarm. And I'm like, alarm? And he's like, an alarm. That means if you touch it, the alarm will go off.
Oh.
And obviously me, being no more than perhaps 5 or 6, straight there, kicked the tire.
No, you fucking didn't.
Kicked the tire and ran.
And did the alarm go off?
Yeah, definitely.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
At 6 you did that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Massive.
That speaks volumes to like your essence.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like
I was just anti-establishment. Don't,
tell me there's an alarm and I'm gonna set it off.
I'm going to set that one off. That was
what did your dad do in that moment?
He freaked out.
Wow.
He freaked out hugely at me. He was so pissed off.
At you at 6?
Yeah. He was not happy.
Tell me, if you have a car, you're a kid, 6 years old, kicks a tire, the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
What's your reaction?
Laugh and run with him.
We're the same being.
Yeah.
We're the same being. This is
enjoy that one, That's part of the fun, to really to kind of question it. And it's a level of curiosity that's written with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's a state of the art. Well, okay, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
What are these automatic windows? What are these things? Fascinating. So,
I want to hear the alarm.
Yeah, what does that sound like?
Curiosity, right?
And it scared the life out of me. I was such a kid.
Yeah, for
sure.
So
I ran and I hid.
You were playful.
I was so playful.
You were just like,
yeah.
Let's play.
Let's play. And I was super grateful because my sister was also very playful. She was more sensible, though. She was more intelligent. She was a bit older.
She younger?
Yeah, older. So she was 18 months older. She is 18 months older. And so she knew how to have fun. We would have a lot of laughs, and different. Like I would do things to shake the tree, and she would do things to collect the fruits from this tree. Nice. She was more like strategic and well assembled, you could say. Yeah, she was very much.
Wow.
Yeah, she was my dad's favorite, which of course, I mean, I was just testing his patience left, right, and center.
What does rebellious James at like 16 look like? So 6 years old, you kick a tire, burst the alarm. That's hilarious. I love that. Did you do like crazy shit? Tell me what.
So because I was so persuasive, I was in Spain and I was at my mom's house and I didn't have a driving license, but I managed to convince my mom to buy me a car.
16?
Yeah.
17.
17. You can have a license in the UK at 17.
Okay.
So I was below the age. Anyway, so I shouldn't have had a car, but I persuaded my mom to buy me a car because there was a deal and she just wanted to please me. Bless her heart, she still does.
Oh,
yeah, she's a goodie. She really would go out of her way. She would say bending over backwards in her words, but
yeah, that's a great mom.
Yeah, it is.
That's the best mom that you could ever ask for.
It is, and she just wants some sort of presence there, like she wants to serve an importance in my life, and I think that she's given endlessness in her ability to love and accept and hopefully provide in encouraging and offering opportunities. But
Mm.
there was also a hold there where I found it quite hard to fly from the nest. And it was something that I felt really important. But my mother being Venezuelan, her culture doesn't really teach her this.
Bro, you got Venezuelan.
Yeah, my mother's Venezuelan. Yeah. So that's something that's not really within their culture. You know, I think she would have expected me to still be living at home and then, you know, fading into the man of the house role and having family there. This is how I've experienced it in Venezuela when I've gone to visit.
For sure.
Yeah.
I live in Panama.
Oh, then you know.
I know tons of Venezuelan people.
Which there's nothing wrong with it. I think that the difference be that in different places we have different concepts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that comes from.
Okay, so she bought you a car, and
God.
you're a little bit influential. Okay.
Right. Well, I was really rebellious. I was really immature. I was really not very well. I wasn't very disciplined, and I was quite loose. And so I got this car.
Yeah.
And
oh wow,
I got the keys.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And lo and behold, I'm driving my car.
Oh.
And taking my friends to Tarifa. And
what is Tarifa?
Tarifa is a
club?
No.
Okay.
There were clubs involved. I'll get there.
Okay.
Tarifa is a peninsula on the southern Iberia Peninsula, the south.
Yeah.
Closest to Morocco.
Yeah.
It's Cadiz, Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andalusia. And this was a place where I go camping with my friends and make a fire and all the rest of it. So this car served me quite well, and I always had this stupid assumption that if you're gonna do it, you may as well do it. You know, if in for a penny, in for a pound. So if you're gonna break the law, you may as well be breaking the law for like the rightful sake.
Holy shit!
This is my mind at 16.
Yeah,
like, this is not me now, but I'm saying that I was really so loose that I would go out to clubs at the weekend. I'd go drinking.
Yeah.
I would park my car in stupid places. I had my car towed like 4 times, and I had to pick it up from a pound. And every time I have to call my mom because she would have to bail me out. And so I worked in quite a loose place down in the south of Spain as well, where the culture I fell into was quite drug oriented and skullduggery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was all kinds of
skullduggery.
Skullduggery.
What does that mean? Skull?
Yeah, that's just pirate talk.
I love that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Skullduggery.
Give me the definition.
Skullduggery means illicit.
Okay.
It means pirateering.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And for me it represented being a bit of a drunkard.
Yeah.
Drink and driving.
Yeah, for sure.
And
high too.
Yeah,
whole spectrum?
massively.
Whole spectrum.
All the spectrum.
Yeah, okay.
Like even Charlie.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sweet
at
Charlie,
16. Charlie, 16. Yeah. That's when I first tried it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Totally.
You were all over the place.
I was smoking cigarettes.
You were like in it, experimenting with everything. Let's break the law. Let me try everything that breaks the law, basically.
Let me get a fake ID and make sure that I can get into the clubs.
I had a fake ID too.
Yeah, that
My brother made it for me.
A good brother.
Brother.
If your brother was older, then he would have just given you his driving license. Right?
We don't look the same at all.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't look like brothers, man. Let me tell you. He had to make that thing. My name was Pierre. Pierre. What was your fake ID name?
No, it had my complete
real name. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was French.
Yeah, the great. I'm French. I'm French Canadian. Was that what you're going for?
Anglophone. Yeah. That's what they call us. So you were so super rebellious. All the things. Did you crash the car?
Did I crash the car?
For some reason, I thought maybe you did.
No, I crashed other people's cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Childhood. Got it.
Wow.
Check.
This is not looking good.
Check.
Yeah.
I got the childhood.
Really,
no, this is perfect.
Okay.
I grew up with kids just like this.
Yeah.
I wasn't that kid, but I was around those kids.
Yeah.
Some of those kids were my best friends.
I got arrested when I was 16
I did too.
when I was driving in my friend's mom's car, and he thought it was a good idea to put the handbrake on into a handbrake turn, and we ended up sliding to the curb and tipping the car over almost and going into a bush.
Incredible.
Incredible. And then
this is the kind of story.
And the police, like, we were so young and stupid, like, what should we do? And I'm obviously the best thing to do is to bail in this circumstance, but round the corner, around the block is where the car is registered to. So, you know, in hindsight, we should have bailed and said it was stolen and got ourselves out of it.
Perfect, yeah.
Instead, we got arrested. I said that I wasn't in the car.
Oh.
And then witnesses had said that I was in the car. So then I didn't get arrested immediately, but I had to go and give a statement. And my dad was furious. He was so angry.
For sure.
I want to backtrack about my dad as well a bit when it comes to the police. So when I was 14, living in a place which is called Studley, which is Warwickshire, Shakespeare country. Okay. I was getting into like smoking marijuana at quite a young age, 13, 14.
Incredible.
And I was smoking weed, and my dad caught wind of it and took me to the police station.
Wow.
Organized an appointment at the police station so that they could try and extract information from me of where I'm getting it from, who I'm smoking it with.
That's so dramatic.
And this is so dramatic. And this is a gateway drug that's going to lead to other. So I suppose they all kind of do connect, but I'm not a skag head on the side of the road who didn't have that sort of awareness. You know, I think I was aware of it, but I wanted to still experiment at the time because it was a curious territory for me, and it was a fun way to go because I felt like I didn't really have much in the way of discipline or boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, I was too loose off the handle.
Wow. Were you the craziest in your group?
No. There's good crazy and bad crazy.
Okay, cool.
I think my crazy was a little extreme.
Yeah.
It would test boundaries.
Yeah.
And it would also be able to recruit.
Wow.
or share the same ideal and kind of do crazy shit. I had a best friend where we would go and buy weed and then go to Riverside over to the field and like smoke a bong that we stole in a chemistry science class.
Holy shit, bro. You had the childhood. You had it all.
Yeah. And we were so rebellious. But we had so much fun at the same time, you know. We're laughing our asses off.
The best.
The best.
It's best. Modern day pirates.
It is, and it's really irresponsible. But at the time, it seemed like the right thing to be doing.
A kid, you know? And it was so valid.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's accepted.
It as long as it's not, too ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, you can't go and kill someone.
Yeah, it's got to be within a means.
You go to juvie.
Yeah, as long as you're doing it to yourself and not to other people, and hopefully you're not doing the wrong kind of thing.
And you were more so doing that, like you were kind of experimenting with yourself or with your close friends.
Yeah, and smoking was also quite the hipster thing to be doing. Sure. So like, it seemed like we would smoke cigars.
You're the shit if you're smoking at 14.
We were smoking cigars at 14. We get these little tiny cigars, and we loved it. You know, we'd go and hang out and get boozery.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah,
bro. Incredible. Okay, I want to turn the wheel a little bit here.
Cool.
Because I feel like I got your childhood down. And I wouldn't have guessed that.
Oh, right.
Incredible. Because you're so different now.
Yeah.
You're nowhere, you're none of that.
So I'd say there is questionable rebelliousness that's there, but it's more moral.
Okay. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
So, God, was your family religious?
My mom went through this stage of redemption where we went to this church. And we would stand up and be, oh, happy days, like this type of thing. And it's also what ringtoned to getting remarried quite suddenly.
Remarried?
To my stepdad when I was about 14, 15. So that was sort of implemented on me.
That was your introduction to God?
No, not at all. Actually, I went to my primary schools.
Catholic?
We're Catholic.
Primary is what? Like
primary is from the ages of
kindergarten?
Yeah, after kindergarten.
Grade 1 through like 6 or something?
Yeah, 1 to 6. I think it would have started at like
Me too.
5, and then 11 was when the cutoff is to the primary.
Okay,
and
cool.
then the secondary is 11 till 16.
Kind of like whatever, I don't know what this stuff is. Like, what was your general sense towards it?
In the UK, I quite liked it. I quite liked singing Cat Stevens songs. Morning has broken like the first light. So even though it was religious,
Nice.
yeah, it was also like some of the
vibe.
teachers were quite quirky in order to sing a bit of Cat Stevens,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But we would also sing great songs, and I think that was quite important.
Yeah.
It's great. It was good. It was good, and we'd do like a play at the end of the year, and I would always be Joseph or the shepherd or something like this, you know. And I think that must get boring after a while for these teachers, but I quite liked it. You know, it's really fascinating when you're a kid and you're taught something that's been indoctrinated for thousands of years.
Yeah.
About this external force and like the interpretation that you can have for that. I was also very open. I thought God was in the trees when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's cool.
And then I thought God was in the clouds.
Nice. Classic.
And then I thought God was in everything. And that's
all right.
Espinosa.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, which I think is probably what I recognize now, but it was great because
Espinosa?
Yeah.
What is that?
He was a Dutch philosopher who believed that God was in everything.
I love that.
Yeah. He was really great.
And do you hold that belief now? Is that what you were kind of referencing, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, God is such an open interpretation, you know, and I feel like I've integrated it through experience in different cultures. When I was in the Caribbean and meeting Rastafari, really emancipated men.
Who's that?
This is a friend of mine that I know from Antigua who was a Rasta man, real Rasta man.
What does that mean?
Rastafari.
Yeah, what is that? Sounds fucking cool.
This is Haile Selassie, the prophecy of the Haile Selassie was basically God reborn, rebirth.
Okay.
So this is their belief.
Wow.
And they followed a Bible which was written by King James the First, which was the first king of Scotland and England.
Okay.
And he had many men help write this book. And his intention behind it was to try and unify Scotland and England because of the disagreement in religion that was happening with the Protestants. I don't quite recall what it might be, but what I do recognize is that his interpretation, this is from the Rasta man who's telling me this. He's reading a Bible in front of me, and he's saying, this is from King James the First. He was the first king of England and Scotland, and he believes that God is within you.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I was so intrigued. But then I also recognize that the way that they live, the way that they are unified, the way that they express, the way they accept, the way that they envision.
Who's they?
Rastafaris.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
The way that they live to some extent, you know, it made sense to certain degrees. You know, it was good to have an open field. And there it was, that this God-like being is in everything, in my perception.
Right.
But more importantly, is inside.
Yeah.
Is an internal thing. And I think that's really graceful to imagine.
Yeah.
Because if you start praying for something that's outside of you, then maybe you'll never meet it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you try and embody it.
Wow. Ding, ding, ding.
Maybe. You know, it's an interpretation that I feel.
I love that.
Everything's got, like, even the patterns of nature, the dimension that we live in, it's all very godly.
Wow.
It's all very spectacular and sacred, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, to honor God is to honor ourselves.
Wow.
And there's a great quote.
Yeah.
In the, I forget which scriptures, but it's recognize God, so God recognizes you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That hit me home hard. When I heard that, it really resonated with me.
What does that mean to you? Elaborate for me. That's a deep one. I just felt into it, and it felt like I went to the bottom of the ocean for a hot minute.
Trying to stay afloat here.
Yeah, trying to stay aboard.
Aboard too.
No, this is great. We're sailing under the seas.
It's a submarine too.
Mm-hmm.
We can go deep, which is important. So it means for me that you recognize God so God can recognize you.
Yeah.
You appreciate magic. You appreciate magic, and the only way to really appreciate magic is to see these things that are often very serendipitous and synchronicities and have great connection and aren't just a coincidence.
Yeah.
This is magic. And magic for me also represents a godlyhood.
Yeah.
A godlike existence that is there and needs to be experienced and also recognized. And if you're not recognizing, oh, this is flow, like things are lining up, this is a consequence to that, and maybe this is because I'm on a path. And to be able to recognize that is to be living in the magic, and to be living in the magic, I think, is godly, and so therefore they kind of are connected.
Parallel, they go in together.
They go in together. Yeah. How do you feel about that music in the background?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's raw.
Okay. Well.
That's the point of the podcast.
Oh, cool.
It's like we're fucking in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where we are. Aries Sarah somewhere. Neptune.
Santo.
As far as I know, we could be on a different planet.
We may as well be in the spaceship right now, floating through the ether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fully. I mean, they're doing a whole ritual ceremony thing over there.
They really are. Yeah,
we're doing our own right across the field. Yeah. Don't know what's going on in Claudia's room.
We're in Neptune.
We're in Neptune.
We're in Neptune.
We're in Neptune.
Yeah, we're safe here.
Yeah, man. Let me come back to this thread. Sometimes I reference threads, like we start here and then we kind of like go down like a different thread and then different thread, but it's all tied to like an original thread.
Yeah, it's tangible, and we get to go and do the framework around it, but then come back to the core of it. Yeah, that's cool.
So recognize God so that God can recognize you. Tell me about the second half of that, so that God can recognize you. What does that mean to you?
There's this magic that we live in called the universe.
Right.
And everything is connected. And so long as this is something that can be fathomable, which is often very difficult because we can sometimes feel extremely separated at the same time.
Yeah. I love this. Wow. Keep going.
To trust in this and to be the truth in it.
Wow.
Is perhaps a better way of existing than the common normality of life and the mundanity that can bring.
Oh, now that's a religion. No, this is how we start a religion. We write that. We call it Kim James the Ninth.
No, because we're
literally James.
No, and I think that the huge amount of liberty is taken from people because they're so well indoctrinated in belief systems and religions. But if we can just take some sort of aspect of it out, the good stuff, the juicy stuff,
it is.
Then potentially we can, not indoctrinate, but perhaps share a better version of the potentiality, what that could lead to.
Yeah.
Which sounds really hocus pocus, woo woo, mystical. But at the same time, we're floating in Neptune, mate.
Through the infinite.
Through the infinite.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
We're sailing through the infinite. Planet Earth is hurling.
Right.
At like God knows what kind of speed.
Yeah.
Through the infinite. And not only is it Earth, it's a whole solar system that's sailing with it.
And you want to try and grasp that.
Yeah.
So if we're going to grasp it, we may as well try and hopefully implement some of the fine aspects of it to then paint a more promising outlook.
Oh, okay. I love this. So yes or no, you believe in God?
God is everything.
I fucking love you. This is why you're on the podcast.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
There was no conversation on the types of questions that would be coming up. It was very open field, very open for interpretation. So nice that you're asking these really useful questions.
You know what Satori means?
I read a book, and I believe the book was called The Way. and it spoke about Satori.
Yes.
And about
You told me
a
this.
journey of Satori and how Satori is everything. And when you asked me if I knew what Satori was, my response was something on the lines of Satori is a way of being, honoring yourself, moving yourself, being. And I think it also reflects being beautiful or making everything beautiful, strong, and full of wisdom.
So much to it.
Right, there's a lot. It's ambiguous.
Here's what it is.
Okay.
In Japanese, Satori means awakening.
Ah, yes.
And it's a reference to, in English or in Buddhism, they define it to be sudden enlightenment. Okay. So I like awakening. And another way of it is understanding. But awakening is understanding, so they're all correlated, right? Okay, so it's called Satori because for me, I've gone through a whole Satori moment. Very many. We all go through many moments of, we call them big realizations.
I was going to say realizations,
right?
Yeah.
Other people call them awakenings, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Satori is truly a reference to what true enlightenment is, right? It's a reference to like the Buddha, what the Buddha went through, or what Christ incarnated as, or what Krishna incarnated as, or there's a lot of sages that I reference sometimes, like Ramana Maharshi or Maharaji or Muji Baba. There's a lot of different people that, whatever, you can reference enlightenment. But the Satori story, which I didn't really give you this context in the beginning, which normally I do, but I'm digging for your Satori-ness that you've been through, right? And so a big moment in Satori is what we just talked about, is coming to the realization that God is in everything. That's a big one.
It's a big one. It's almost unfathomable.
It's almost unfathomable as a human.
Mm.
So I want to ask, when did this come up? How old were you when you were like, oh, God is in everything? And I do feel this in my beingness that I'm going to recognize the magic of all that is around me and feel like I'm in harmony with the flow of the universe, let's say. When did this land for you?
What was always really impressive was these often gigantic, tall, beautifully architectured churches with incredible stained glass windows, with incredible tall insides, with awesome acoustics.
Yeah.
With such great light as well coming through, with such great build, strong, and reaching high to the heavens.
Wow.
And so being a kid and then doing choir or being in the choir.
You were in choir?
Of course.
Fuck yeah. I wasn't in choir. You say, like, of course. I'm like, damn, I missed that.
Yeah, that was part of the growing up in the UK as in a Catholic school. You'd be in the choir.
Okay. I know you said you were singing. I just didn't realize, I didn't put the two together.
Yeah,
choir.
we'd be singing in a church.
Right.
I think it would be at least once a week.
Wow.
Yeah. And I went to different primary schools and we all did the same thing. It was all very associated to the church. So being a kid and witnessing these beautiful monolithic building structures and seeing the amount of attention that would have gone into them. What are these things? Why are we doing this?
Holy shit. Are you recognizing this as a kid?
As a kid, yeah.
How old are you?
5 or 6?
5 or 6? You have this awareness?
I think I was always curious. I think I was always wondering, like, what is this? Why are we here? Why, and then even when I was christened as a kid, it's like there was photos around my house and I'd be like, what? That's me.
Christened, what does that mean?
Christened. So they take you to they baptize you.
Baptism. Yes.
Christened.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So they would, and it would be like in a picture and I'd have my godmother and other family members. It was quite the thing. And
you remember that?
No.
Okay.
No, but I remember looking at the photos.
Got it. Okay.
And then being like, that was done in a church, and then going to a church and seeing this basin, which is where the baptisms would be happening.
Wow.
And so the This was like the first
The introduction to
the
like
introduction. Yeah, why is there a man?
divinity.
Yeah, why is there a man over there hailing Christ and speaking about the holiness, and why are we praying, and why are we on our knees praying, and what are we praying to, and why is everybody saying the same thing, and why am I learning our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be that, and
Hallowed be thy name.
yeah, hallowed be thy, and this is all. What am I praying here for? And this is relevant. This is important. This is something that doesn't get questioned and gets played out on a regular occasion. So,
wow, incredible.
So we do this often, and then we go to church. I think I went to church on Sundays. I'm just trying to remember. I would have gone to church on Sundays sometimes. It would have been like a part of the school, go and sing for church or choir. I forget exactly, but it was always prevalent in my life to have this sort of culture. Yeah. And then so I think that was the.
Oh, that's just rain.
Are you sure it's not a cat on the roof?
Oh, it could be a cat on the roof.
Yeah. I don't think it's rain.
Yeah, I don't think it's rain either.
It's raining cats. It's raining cats and dogs. So yeah, this was what made me very curious. It was very much associated to me, and something that's been evident throughout my existence, and actually fading more over now, which is the culture, church culture. Yeah, which isn't so. I mean, it is in countries like here in Portugal. I drove past a church just tonight, and it was really busy, and I had to drive through it. I was waving, and they're obviously waving back. And I'm like, God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you.
Hope's coming through, man.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yeah. And it's really honorable. It's really respectable.
Yeah.
And some of these, I wasn't the best student. Hey, I wouldn't always take on this information. I would always be drifting away with my own little mind. In a different world.
Me too.
But still, then it was something beautiful to be looking at. Like, to be in a church, I could just lose my wow, that's such a tall, beautiful building. Look at the altar.
That's so incredible that you had this recognition of the beauty.
I can still see it.
That's insane.
I can remember the church layout that I went to.
When I was in churches, first of all, our churches sucked. Okay, because Canada, like, we just don't have it the same.
No,
we don't have it the same.
No,
not at all. They're massive. It looks like a warehouse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Not all the churches. Not all the churches. There's some beautiful ones that are, more historic, let's say. But the New Age ones, that's the ones that we went to. And just for contrast to your divine-like childhood, I would walk into this thing like, I don't want to be here. This thing sucks. Like, why am I here? I'm thinking about video games or some shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
And we only had to go one day a year.
Oh, what?
It was on Christmas.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It was on Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was still dreading it.
Whoa.
I was like, I don't know. What is it? Give me this little bread and this little grape juice. And what is this, the representation of Jesus Christ and his body we're eating?
And
like, what?
Blood.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
like, what is all this? Really didn't like it. And I didn't appreciate or question or have this sense of curiosity like you did. So it's so cool to hear how you had this at such a young age, because I don't think most children do.
Well, it's more like a set stage, these churches. The vicar's wearing this really beautiful silk, gold and pink threads and looking really presentable and conveying his voice very passionately.
Yeah.
And reading these scriptures, and I suppose that they're very much information based, but also moral based.
Yeah.
So it was useful. It was good. It kept us in check, but I didn't really keep in check that well.
Yeah.
But that led to
the intro.
Yeah, that led to the interpretation of, okay,
God is in everything.
God is in everything. I think that's something that's evolved in time.
When did that happen?
That was when I started learning about Spinoza.
Okay, and how old were you?
I was a lot older.
How old?
I would have been like late teens.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But I also,
Insane.
you resonate, don't you? Like when something speaks true for you, you'd be like, I'm going to adopt that theory. It seems to work.
Yeah.
It seems to make sense to everything I've experienced up until now, because everybody has their own interpretation. And true interpretation is open to anything.
Right.
You got to consider so much in that.
Wow.
And in the UK, it's very multicultural. So you have mosques, you have synagogues, you have all kinds of houses of prayers.
So many.
So many. And you go to any airport, there's a prayer room.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say any airport. Most international airports have a prayer room. I've been to a few of them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they're great. They're like meditation spaces.
You walk in, it's like, wow.
Yeah, and really, prayer is a meditation. Prayer is a huge consideration and potentially an intention and hopefully an aspiration.
Do you pray?
I pray all the time.
Wow.
I pray all the time.
Give me an example of a prayer.
When I prayed last, I prayed because I was given some tobacco to pray with. And I was told how to pray with this tobacco.
Nice.
And I was told how to hold it. And I was told,
When was this?
This was only a few weeks ago.
I did this exact thing.
Right.
Only about a month ago.
Right. I think it was about a month ago for me.
Wow.
I was with...
It was a fire prayer.
I haven't done a fire prayer.
You threw the tobacco in it.
Well, yeah, that's the offering. I've done that. But the tobacco, so I've had a really bad relationship with tobacco. I'm going to confess.
Okay.
I smoked as a kid. I inhaled. I used to steal my mom's cigarettes. She used to smoke YSL menthol cigarettes when I was about 13. I would steal her packs of cigarettes.
Damn.
And like tape around the holes of the cigarette butt and like, go smoke with my friends. But anyway, so smoking has that kind of outlook, you could say.
Yeah.
When it came to being told how to smoke and hold a cigarette, this wasn't a cigarette, this was a tobacco. I forget the exact name, but I know that it originates in Peru.
Yeah.
And I was told a story, and it really rang true.
Okay.
It was the Westerners, they want to consume everything and take them inside of them, put it inside of them, which is why they inhale. I'm like, whoa. And he said, we don't inhale. We just put it in our mouths and we say prayers, and with the smoke, it goes out into the atmosphere and it carries. And it makes perfect sense. It just kind of really hit.
Deep.
Yeah, it really hit on the head. Really helpful. It's like that makes
chills.
It really helped.
That was a Satorian moment that you just spoke.
Yeah. And so there was a gift offering at the end of this ceremony that I did. And I got to choose what I wanted, what was ahead of me. And I chose there was like a pack and it had some of these rolled tobacco from Peru cigarettes. And so my last prayers have been with that. And
wow.
And it's great because it takes longer than 5 minutes. You know? And there's a lot of prayer.
There's a lot of prayer to do in that time. That was great.
And sometimes if you get stuck for thought, sorry, I speak for myself. And sometimes if I get stuck for thought, I just go back on what I've already prayed and making sure that I really put emphasis on that, and then go back to what else do I need to pray? What else is important? So praying, I do pray. I think praying has an effect. I think praying is powerful.
Dude, let's do a prayer.
Well, my prayer is beginning with gratification. I always start with gratification. Okay. So I start with myself. I start with, thank you for my health.
Yeah.
Thank you for the ability to be here. Thank you for the health of my family. Thank you for the life I've had. Thank you for the life I'm going toward. And it really begins there. I think that's the essence of the beginning of a prayer, because if you're praying, it's like you're looking for something that's outside of you, or you're asking for something, but really it's already there. So acknowledging this is quite useful for me. Wow. When I pray, I I go from what is already more than great, which is I'm healthy, I'm here, I'm compos mentis, I have vision, I have family, I have friends who care, I have connection, I have. So I really articulate that to begin with, because that's a prayer in itself. It's like, this is the gratification, this is what I'm tremendously grateful for.
Yeah.
And then it goes to pray for humankind. Pray for the ability to find the right wisdoms that would hopefully teach us and deliver us from evils, which I feel have been commonly accepted because of certain medias. And
for sure,
I don't know how people can justify killing, but that's another story. But this is what I pray for. I pray for humanity to hopefully really shake the tree and look beyond the borders that have been built that are only separations from the higher truth and self. So that's another part of my prayer. I pray for humanity, and then I pray towards the fulfillment aspect. What's going to make me happy? How can I be impactful? How can I help? What can I offer?
Right.
What's important for me?
Wow.
And how can I implement these things? So that's the other side of this prayer, where I give thanks, because I feel like that is the start of most, and then
gratitude,
and then kind of progress into, we need guidance. We need compassion.
Yeah.
We need acceptance. We need unity. And I suppose this is where I pray towards those things, and then also pray for God to hopefully let me be an instrument of His grace.
You're fucking speaking my language.
Yeah. Let me be an instrument of this divine experience. Let allow me to deliver what I need to be here for on my path.
Fucking incredible, bro.
I really do this, I really find the necessity behind it. I feel like if everybody was praying, and actually if we were doing it together, then imagine how much more powerful that could be.
I think we would blip out. I don't know what would happen.
I think it would be so powerful that it would manifest probably twice, or who knows how many times faster.
We would have world peace.
We would have world peace, because I feel like there's too much division, and division is great if you're trying to divide and conquer.
Yeah, and take over the world.
And take over the hearts and the mind of the world, and really starve it from its incredible divinity and magic that exists, but hasn't been fully tapped into, or isn't being accessed as it could well be. Yeah. Wow. Nice. Yeah.
I don't yet have these buttons programmed.
Okay.
But like there's a way in which you can program them to make sounds.
Okay.
And I really want to get a sound.
Okay.
That like
when the crescendo moment. Boom.
And then yeah, man.
That would be fun.
And I have this whole thing of like, sometimes when I hear some incredible stuff like what you just spoke, I see us sailing through this infinite ocean, and the Lord's light is just beaming on the vessel, and all you see is like perfect glistening ocean. It's beautiful. We're sailing. It's wonderful. And there's storms all around.
Storms
everywhere. And somehow we're sailing in perfect glassy water. But there's 400-foot waves over there. God knows what that is. And as we're sailing around it, and something like what you just said was spoken, Jesus Christ walks up to a cannon and fires a cannonball. And it was infused with the words that were spoken. And it fires out into that stormy area.
Okay.
And this is how I feel about when people listen to this kind of stuff. Is like it hits them.
They receive,
it's the transmission of the word.
Yeah. That's really beautiful to see, to feel and to be open for.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
It is useful that there is a ship out there that does have a sense of navigation and knows where it's going and what it needs to avoid.
We follow the Polaris star. It guides us.
Yeah.
It guides us to that true direction of what one could call true north. Man, so prayer, I had some stuff come up. I love what you said. I have this prayer almost daily where it comes through as, Lord, make me an instrument of thy sublime peace, so that I may be of the highest service to all of mankind.
I like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Fucking touches my heart every time I say it.
Yeah.
And this is all I pray for, is like, how can I be of service to thee, O Lord? Guide me in this life so that I may be of service to all beings, all beings, all beings. Let me just be of service. And I went through this incredible shift where I had all these companies and I was very profit driven and money oriented. And I was trying to, take over the world in my own little way. And then just like, just get rid of all of it. Because I had this Satorian moment where I saw God, not as like a physical thing outside of me, as like a being, but the radiance of divinity, of God itself, was emanating in all things. All things.
Wow. So
imagine like a shimmering, like a glistening. For someone that's dabbled with psychedelics, you do mushrooms and the wall starts breathing. That.
It's pulsating, trying to communicate.
Except it wasn't that.
Oh, right. It was without that.
It was that visually.
Okay.
Except it wasn't a psychedelic trip.
Right.
But it was, when I'm looking at the rock's looking at me, and there's no sense of separation.
Wow.
Between me and the rock, or me and the plant, or me and the fire, or me and you.
Oof.
There's no sense of separation.
It's perfect harmony.
It's an infinite sense of peace and silence.
Whoa.
Despite hearing things, there's infinite peace. And I was in this state for maybe 6 hours.
What inspired this?
It's a whole story.
Okay.
This is my first like really intense Satori story or moment. But without going into the whole thing, because I want to stick to you. Our original thread was prayer. Oh yeah, make me a sublime peace. This happened and I completely went out of all of that stuff. I was in a stormy sea for some time, kind of just doing my own stuff, and then went into this because it felt like this was the thing. It was like, God speaking to me, capture consciousness and do it in a way where you can capture the highest truth and spread the word. Because you've seen it, you've felt it, you've experienced it within you, and you've seen it outside of you, and you know that what is outside of you and what is within you, there is no difference. And that it is all connected, and we are all one, as they say, as above, so below, as within, so without. So that moment happened, and everything shifted from there, and here we are.
It's beautiful, mate.
And prayer is, I think, just like... I'm so stoked because I really didn't know with you.
Okay.
But I felt it.
Yeah. I must add, like, it was quite surprising when you said, would you like to do a thing? And there's me not knowing anything about it. Where do I sign? When are we doing this? I'm totally keen. It seems good. And it was energetic too.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't like, it felt safe. It felt right. It felt like I could hopefully find out what it was about closer to the date,
Yeah.
And then contextually, like, I don't know what this was going to be about whatsoever. I think you said Satori, but that's also very ambiguous.
What?
You said Satori.
Satori? What is that?
What?
Satori?
That's yeah. I'm talking about a place in Greece. Sorry, Santorini.
Santorini. Yeah, I'm like, hold on, what?
It's a great place. Yeah. You ever sailed there?
We could go there right now.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So I was really intrigued
By
Satori because the mention of the book that I've read,
crazy little synchronicity.
Yeah, it was very intriguing for me, and like I liked it when I read about it, and it felt very right for me. So now I wish I did more research on the Satori. Santorini. Satori. Yeah, and the book that I read was also really inspiring, really basic, but also very inspiring when it spoke about Satori, the way of life. It was implemented in every notion and motion. You know, it's like Satori is life, and I suppose it's honoring that and being graceful.
Mm-hmm.
And soft, I think, is something that I took from that too.
Soft.
Being soft, nimble, and flexible. Like a sloop. So it's a great name. It's very relevant. I like it. Yeah.
So I want to grab the wheel again.
Cool.
By the way, if you're not comfortable, you're fully welcome to move the microphone.
No, this is good for my posture. I like it.
You're liking it?
Yeah, I'm like really putting my
holding the spine.
I'm holding the spine like a duck or a dove right now. It's fine.
So you have come to where you are now in your beliefs, which is so incredible. And it's not surprising given your childhood. You know, like just wow. This sense of I think God is in everything and you're praying and all of this. So this has been with you for how long? At what age did this really come to you? I don't know if you gave me the age. I know you said it was when you got into the Suferian or Zaffarini stuff, whatever that word was of the beings that read King James.
Oh, yes.
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
How old were you when you got into that?
Oh.
18?
No, it was in the Caribbean. So I was about 23.
Okay. So would you say that was kind of like a big realization Satorian moment where you were like, oh, okay, this is...
I really resonated with these Rasta man.
Okay.
And they really resonated with me.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like a great unity in itself.
Wow.
And it was useful because I had friends of my teenage years from like 16 till about 18 where I would hang out with my mates and there'd be DJs and they'd be putting like vinyl on and it would have a lot of music speaking about all the relevant things that perhaps weren't spoken about so much, you know, like one love, like and unity and
wow.
So being in the Caribbean and then being with the background of Birmingham where it's quite rooted, very multicultural, and I went to a few events where there was, you know, quite a scene, you could say, for Rastafari and so like being in the Caribbean, it was like they were taking me in, should I say.
Wow.
There was an initiation. It was, and also I found this is funny. I mentioned that I partook in smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
And that's an international language right there.
No.
You know, and a lot of the times I smoke less these days, which is good. I do like to smoke on an occasion. I find it very helpful.
Yeah.
But not as much as I perhaps used to.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was always like I arrive at a port and I'd be like, right, where's the Rasta man? And they'd be like, Rasta man's got a joint hanging out his mouth. There's the guy to talk to, like, yeah, Joe, what's up?
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. and they'd be like, yeah, you want some? Yeah, what you
Oh my God.
How much you want? And they'd be like, I don't know, man, just give me a couple of bags. Like, you want the what is it? So many varieties. They'd be like, yardie, you want the yardie? You want the jam? They'd be like, I don't really care what I want. I just give me the stuff with the seeds. That's what you got? Yeah, just take that. It's fine. Yeah, I actually gave some Rastaman some seeds that I had in America.
Yeah, tell me.
Which were feminized. because they would always smoke the cross pollinated weed with seeds, right? So they didn't have the right genetics. They would always smoke the seeds. In fact, I saw Justin Bieber in a nightclub in Antigua smoking weed with seeds.
Oh.
Sorry, I dropped you in it, buddy, but
no, it's fine.
You ain't no pro.
Good to have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
On the ship for a hot moment.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Yeah.
And like this is, and I remember giving these Rastamen like, here's some seed, and I'll come back next year, and maybe you can just give me some weed in exchange.
Yeah.
And it was like a perfect trade-off. It was a really healthy trade-off. And so smoking weed was like the international language which you could integrate quite cleverly and smoothly into this culture, which, in my opinion, you could even say religion, way of life, I'd rather.
Yeah.
It's very open. It's very respectable. It's very honorable. And it's also very honest. Like, it taught me to speak openly.
Wow.
You know, to not have so much of a filter, which hasn't always brought joy. But to
sure.
be able to just express, like, yo, wagwan, like, and have wagwan.
What does that mean, bro?
That's part of the language. It's like wagwan, rude boy. It's like saying, hey, what's up?
Wow.
Yeah. So I found it really useful to have this sort of cultural, subcultural exposure to other cultures, which are unified and dignified, rooted within a philosophy of Jah Haile Selassie, but also associated very closely to marijuana. And I don't know where the affiliation is, but I know that Rastaman smokes a lot of weed. And for my timing, I was on that time frame, you know. Like, I'd be like, Jah Rastafari, you know, I'm with you. Haile Selassie.
This is incredible.
Yeah. So let's go back to the initial point.
The original thread.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about how this is kind of when maybe the belief solidified that, like, oh, wait, God's and everything.
Yeah.
And there's a big shift maybe in your whole internal belief system as to your connection to source. And maybe there was some links connected from childhood or something.
I recognize that love should probably be the ultimate religion.
Wow. I love that. Yeah. Way of living.
A way of living. A way of living. Love is the way of living. And that was offered to me by these Rastaman who were very open to experience me as well and be like, where you from? What you doing? What you doing here? Like, I'd be like, I'm on a boat. Like, yeah, you want weed, man, you want work? You're like, yeah, whatever, man. So yeah. And yeah, so there was definitely Satori moment in learning other people's backgrounds and see how that is conveyed and expressed.
Yeah.
And that for me was really respectful. You know, you're looking people in the eye, you're acknowledging them, and you're saying, Jah, you know, you check, you're good.
Yeah.
You check. Yeah, safe, brother, we're good. Yeah, and it's like, this is really important.
Wow.
To be acknowledged. Like, I've been in London many a time. I've been in the UK many a time, and I'm looking around, and people are scared to look at you. They'd rather look at the ground. They're definitely not looking up.
No.
Love
that.
They're not looking up.
Nope.
No. And it's quite a shocking reality.
Wow.
Because I think ultimately we're like a mushroom with the mycelium. We're trying to connect to each other, make a network. Maybe this is why Facebook is such, but the
if there was a button.
Hit the button.
Continue.
And so in this cultural experience, I was able to integrate what I could offer, how I could express, and how that could be hopefully relative to love. And I think that is truth.
Yeah.
Which is what you said at the beginning. And
it's at the heart of the vessel.
That is, and without it, we don't know our heads from our asses.
Fuck yeah, we don't.
No. We don't know how to begin.
No.
So when I was
without it, you're looking down.
Yeah. Well, it's great because you get a bus and it's like you say good morning. I get that here in Portugal, by the way.
Yeah.
You walk into a room, people are saying hello. They're acknowledging you. They're saying good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
And like, it's a very friendly atmosphere.
Acknowledge.
I went to a shop earlier and I wasn't expecting it, which is probably why it was so great. There was like a big smile, hello, bom, boa tarde, like, and I'm like, greet me with a smile.
Hello.
Hello. Like, setting a platform for me. Like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And I think this is vital. Like, this is
so important.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you got to be flamboyant. I'm not saying you got to be like pretentious. No. What I'm saying is the authentic self is wanting to put your hand out for it to be met halfway and making a connection and hopefully acknowledging people is quite a way of living in love.
Yes.
And being soft.
Yeah, bro.
I find they could be quite aggressive actually in the Caribbean in some respect. Like they'd be quite short. Sure. Like anyone can be short. We get a bit of taste from all angles here, you know. Everything's a variable, but I think the core essence is that we can live alongside each other.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is a choice.
With recognition of each other in some sort of mycelium network where there's a connection.
There's a connection whether you like it or not. You're better off facing the facts that, hey, we hail here from Earth.
Yes.
And we've alienated ourselves so much so that, you know, we're all just a bunch of fascists, like praying to the flag, pretty much. In my opinion, like that's what's going on. Like
largely.
Yeah, it's quite a worrisome thought.
Right.
You know, this patriotism is just fascism.
Interesting, isn't it?
It's terrorizing. Terrorizing.
You know what's interesting though? This came up for me. The what's it called? The United States, when it was born, they wrote the doctrine, the independence thing, the paper.
Yes.
It was rooted in God. Okay.
Right.
And when I read it, I cried because, wow.
We've come so far from the point.
Yeah. So far. But wow, let me tell you, it's worth a read because it basically says, fuck religion.
Yeah.
We believe in thee, O Lord, our Heavenly Father God, and we are open to all spiritual perspectives of what that is.
Right.
So we're accepting all beings.
Yeah.
And we're not run by the church. And we will be a country rooted in God.
Right.
With freedom of speech.
Right.
And freedom of wherever you want to live. And you can vote for this. And then, you know, the whole democracy and stuff came in and whatever. And that's the government. And whatever. And where the borders come up and stuff. But there's just this essence of God and divinity in it that's really special that the founding fathers wrote. And when you read it, it's just like, it feels like a prayer. It's incredible.
It is incredible. It's a good to have the frameworks, the pillars of some sort of decree that we know where we are able to
but it's lost.
Exercise. I mean, some of the things were very clever. I think Thomas Jefferson had in there the people who own the country will run the country, which is very...
I have no idea.
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I know that...
And I don't really know who Jefferson is.
He was one of the founding fathers, I believe.
He? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
See, I don't know. All I know is when I read that doctrine, that thing.
Yeah. That I think if we went back even further before the
countries,
maybe as far back as the Bible.
Okay.
I was having this conversation with somebody recently, and they had said to me, "What do you think about religion?" And I've gone like,
"Wow,
I think it is very important to have some sort of doctrine which is morally correct." And just going back to the 10 Commandments, which is enough. Which is enough.
It's a lot. There's 10.
Well, it's enough. It's enough. And I can't say I know them off by heart, but I can say the ones that are quite important, like thou shalt not kill. I think that's like very, very useful information.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And just because you're pressing a trigger and you're not seeing the person you're killing doesn't make it acceptable either.
Right.
And that's what's going on.
Right, for sure.
You're pulling a trigger or you're pressing a button and there's a
No
big bomb
difference.
and you're basically killing people essentially. And that is unacceptable behavior.
For sure.
You should be killing people.
Yeah.
So thou shalt not commit adultery, which is to be faithful to your partners.
Love that one.
I'm not saying you have to get married, but there was also a commandment to say that you'd have to be married before you can have sex.
Yes.
That's not a bad. I
Not a
mean,
bad thing.
it's not going to work in today's age, but
yeah,
it kind of makes a bit of sense that when you're committed to a person, you're committed to creating a small government and creating a family with that person.
Right.
Which I think is a great way of existing, because without family, there's real no solidarity.
Wow.
Another one that's in there, gosh, I don't know.
That's okay. I don't know them either.
Yeah. But I'd say what I'm trying to convey is that there's a framework.
Yeah.
And within the framework, within every experience, no, hang on, let me say, within everything, there's an interpretation. But to have a ley line of what is socially and cordially respectable is a great place to know your place in that, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So
it's a sort of a fine line, a boundary of sorts.
It's a boundary.
Like, hey, look, you can go outside of this thing.
Yeah.
Go experiment with killing people and see what you find if you really want to. But just know there's a reason why we're telling you not to.
Yeah. And whether it's to do with karma, which is from the other side of the world, but the point being is we need to respect one another and honor each other and
love.
Yes, I think that's first and foremost.
Love that.
Love one another, really. That's really quite wise choice.
Yeah.
If we want to hopefully consecrate our existence in this civilization and not
consecrate our existence in this civilization.
Instead of
I love that. I just learned what consecrate means like 2 days ago. Can you define that for
we're
all beings
consecrating
listening?
Like we're showing the relevance of something and we're honoring it. We're consecrating it, as in the consecration of marriage.
Yeah.
You know,
almost making it holy in a sense.
Yeah, it is sacred. Yeah, it's sacred. Like, let's consecrate this. And
wow.
Yeah. And in order for human progress, I think we needed. Well, I've said this before, and I've had problems with other people who have said that.
Wait, yeah, tell me, what is it?
Well, I said we need each other, and this German fellow said that is a bad way to look at life. If you need something, it means that you can't provide it for yourself. And I said, no. What I'm trying to express is that we can achieve great things when we're united. Yeah,
for sure.
And that doesn't mean that I need you or you need me, but it means that we'd work better if we could find a way to develop and create collaborating with each other.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm getting towards.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So even almost a meritocracy. Yeah.
Meritocracy.
Yeah.
Big fan.
You're a big fan, right?
I like it. But your original thread, which I love so much, like, love is the foundation, and to experience love, I think that in the beginning stages, it usually starts by something outside of you. So usually it's your mom, just like loving you and nurturing you and giving you food and caring for you. And that's kind of like your initial experience. You come into the human experience, and did your parents love you or not? If they didn't, you might miss the 10 Commandments and go kill people because you don't really know what that is. And so this is like the classic story of, like, the children are the leaders of the world, because like how they're raised dictates the future of mankind, let's say. Definitely. And so the ultimate like sense of how can we build a peaceful, loving world is, well, let's all be in love. And if a whole generation of children rises that was cared for and nurtured and loved, they will fully transcend all the trauma of their lineage, per se. Okay. And for all the beings that grew up without that love, they may be walking down the street afraid to look up. They might be looking at their phone, too self-conscious to make eye contact with a passing human being who is literally the same fucking creature as them. And they're too afraid to make eye contact. And so that's why I like opening, talking about your childhood and what was it like? Did your parents love you? I kind of want to get a good sense as to, like, you know, how much love did you get?
Yeah.
You know?
I want to add to that.
Yeah, add.
Yeah. And the reason that I want to add to that is because I also recognize for somebody who doesn't know how to love themselves, it's really more challenging for them to be able to love someone else outside of them.
Yes. I fully agree with that. And so that's why, as a being who is in love, we have a responsibility.
Definitely. I heard a quote the other day.
Tell me.
You're responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
You're also responsible for everybody else.
I fucking love that.
Right.
I love it.
I couldn't believe how well that resonated with me, because there is no separation.
Yeah.
And so if I benefit, surely we can benefit. And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a tattoo at the back. My Achilles heel, I have a tattoo.
Okay.
I got it done when I was in Mexico.
Nice.
And it reads, "Believe you me."
Believe
you me.
You me. Wow, tell me.
Believe you me. And it's literally it's correct. It's in the Bible.
Wow.
I believe it's follow ye me. And it's used.
What does it mean?
Well, the Irish they use it. Oh, believe you me. And what it means is, like, trust me, believe me, I'm telling you the truth.
Wow.
Believe you me.
Believe you me.
And it's like it's really to emphasize something. Like, believe you me, like, I'm telling you, this is, hard to believe.
Wow.
And why I like these words on my Achilles heel, well, first off, it's a footnote. It's the beginning of everything. In order for you to believe, I believe in you, and you believe in me. And that's why the you and the me are so close.
Wow.
Without me believing in something greater than just myself, but instead you, me, both, you and I both, nothing will ever get achieved. We're never going to, I suppose, grow or love. More importantly, love. And I think the word believe is actually translated in a few languages as love. And it makes perfect sense, because without belief, you really have no foundation.
Whoa, I love that. I've never heard that.
And if you look at the word believe, well, you've got be there, which is great to just be. But also you've got the word lie there.
Yeah.
So there's a potential you're going to believe in a lie.
Wow.
And the leave also, it's close to love. It's not far off. It's not a few letters off. And the reason that I got this tattoo, there's a few reasons. I got it on my Achilles heel because I felt like it's the principle. As in, like, Troy had his Achilles heel shot at, and he died from it. So it's a very vulnerable position, let's say.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. I've immediately recognized the Achilles reference. I was like, okay, Troy.
Okay.
What's going on?
And then I recognize that as a child, I was judged on my ability to climb. And I was a fish.
Like rock climb?
No, I felt like I was judged. It's a quote by Albert Einstein, and he said, if you how does it go?
Ascend?
No, it's more like this.
Yeah.
If I judge you for your ability to climb and you're a fish, then you're going to live your life believing that you're an idiot.
Wow. Got it.
And I felt like I was treated like an idiot from my father. I felt like he didn't really honor or accept me and he was always trying to correct me.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he
yeah.
was always trying to manipulate me and also be something that I wasn't. So this is also me being rebellious, you know, like
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I also am a firm believer that we don't, as humans, get taught how to walk. We find it naturally. This is innate to us.
Yeah.
And I think that life can be such too. I think what's useful
Mm-hmm.
is to be accepted for whatever you are, to be rejoiced on your qualities, and to be not condemned, but perhaps, you know, expressed. You know, no one's perfect. It's good to have a little bit of critique. It's good to take a bit of healthy criticism, let's say. And I felt very much disempowered
Yeah.
as a child. So that tattoo means a lot to me
Wow.
in my own unification.
Oh, incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope I said it right.
That
But
was perfect.
yeah. Yeah.
One of the what was the original thread? Man, who cares? Hold on, let me just say this. This came up. So, you know, sometimes a magical fish flies out of the ocean into the boat, and it's like, okay, gotta show you what this fish is. Reference to a thought that came up. So, something you said, we're not all perfect. A good degree of, you know, discernment or whatever.
Mhm.
I love this idea that I hold very dearly to my heart, which is that all moves from perfect to perfect in each moment, complete to complete, perfect to perfect. And as one is in our current state of being, is the resemblance of the perfection of divinity. And so when we say, yeah, well, we're not perfect, I can't be perfect, it's like a sense of kind of pressure on yourself, like a self, sort of. And I think that the view that I personally hold and feel. Give me a second. Let me just make sure that this is okay. Mini heart attack. We are recording.
Were we not recording
No,
before?
we were. We were. It's all good. I just was like, hold on. Okay. So the view of self that I hold is that innately within me, that which I am is perfect. There is, though, some sense of karma, if you will, of maybe past lives, or some sense of purification that is occurring in this purgatorial domain that we're in called Earth. Purgatorial, which is a Catholic doctrine type of word, which essentially just means this is a domain where you can do whatever you want. It's not heavenly per se, because there is evil, if you want to call it that, where you can kill or you can love. In a heavenly domain, there would all be peace and love, and everybody's united. There's no borders, brothers and sisters, right? That's what it is. But this is a world in which you have the free will to choose love or something else. And so as I'm walking through this life, feeling as though everything is moving from perfect to perfect, even if a mistake, which would be some sense of label put upon something I've done in the past, is made, quote unquote, I don't look at it as a mistake. I look at it as just lesson. Got it. You know, I take a contemplative view to life and do my best to operate fully from a place of love and always come into a deeper and more harmonic place of love, and each step, each day, each prayer, each moment, just, you know, how can I be an instrument of thy sublime peace and love, right? So that one touches home for me when I hear people say, well, I'm not perfect. And it's like, I get what you're saying. I hear you. I know what that is, right? It's a sense of being critical of oneself. Right. I have an awareness of myself and maybe the wrongs that I've done, in quote unquote, right? And that's a beautiful awareness that you hold. And what if I told you that you're a perfect infinite being and that within you is all that is, and that is divinity inside of you, right? And that is your core essence. What if you believe that? And you're also a human being at the same time. So like you might do some things that maybe you come to realize weren't the best, quote unquote.
Sure. And it's really important to remark on that, because I think that in our culture we try and justify ourselves through our imperfections. You know,
Justify ourselves as what?
As it through our imperfections. Like, sorry, I'm not perfect. I didn't mean to do it. It's like, no, actually, you are. You just have to make a conscious choice, and that could be love.
Yes.
And not fear, and not, you know, feeling insufficient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Don't like doubt yourself or start to feel like you're not worthy. Or feel insecure. Like, no, I fully love you and accept you as you are.
Yeah, and this is like the greatest. Thank you for saying that, because in that divinity of acceptance, there's a huge capacity for unconditional love, which means that within that you get to be whoever you want. There is no judgment. There is acceptance, and it's safe for you to be vulnerable. And I recognize that I perhaps have behaved in ways which are not necessarily perfect, but at least I've come to the other side and recognized, oh, I know what I did was wrong, and hopefully I know how to move forwards from it so I don't make that same mistake again.
Right.
Yeah. And perfect. I don't know. I like what you say. It resonates too, but I also believe that there is no such thing as perfect. In some respect of trying to aspire to be this like unbelievable, incomprehensible existence, it would be a shame to believe that there was such a thing. And maybe just breaking down those belief systems or self-belief or lack of self-belief, we can hopefully find that you're right. We can find that you're right, that within all of this human, I want to say, within all of what we are, we're enough. And that some of the things are innate to us, which can only feel natural. And maybe this is what we should be going towards, instead of these belief systems which are implemented on us, which make us feel imperfect through the eyes of the societal view.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, no, we're flying on Neptune right now. I know it.
Okay.
You really gotta take 40 million steps back and observe from like Neptune.
Yeah. Perfection in society is overlooked, and I don't think exists. And it's good to have aspirations, realistic ones perhaps, but trying to strive towards perfection is probably not going to be healthy. But accepting yourself beyond those layers as a perfect divine human being with your flaws is really going to help everything.
And I think that is perfection.
Yeah, definitely.
That is perfection.
Yeah.
The acceptance of that which you are, as you currently are.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had to define what perfection would be, it would be coming to that place with, of course, the higher awareness of leaning towards love.
Always.
And coming to this place of how can I love more? You know, this came up for me. My view of this earthly domain is, or the universe that we're in. I believe in incarnation. Do you believe in incarnation?
I do.
Okay, cool. Eastern philosophy, but I believe in it very strongly. So you have lots of different lifetimes. Over these lifetimes, depending on the decisions that you make, you gain certain karma, negative or positive, whatever, right? Okay, cool. So when you die, you're a spirit, let's say, right? You go into your spirit form. As a spirit, if you're like, Jesus Christ on planet Earth, or Buddha or Krishna, well, you go to the heaven-like realms because that was your essence in this realm. So you're currently in this human body, a reflection of your spirit. So this is the mirror of that which you are in the spirit world, if you will. Okay, so we choose to come here. I believe that fully. Also, it's a choice. We come here. Why do we come here?
Oh, some have been here many times before too, no?
Yes.
I don't recognize because I have no comprehension in this. Why do we come here?
Yeah.
You want me to answer?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and then I want to answer it.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were going to tell me. I'm waiting to know. Well, there is a huge amount of interpretation in this question.
Right. A whole lot. Now we're really on Neptune.
I reckon that we are here on this path that we've chosen to come to live certain experiences that can enhance our awareness and recognize that we are the creators of this existence and that the world we live inside is the world that we live on the outside. And
wow.
This I can keep on going. We come here to recognize that we have responsibility to evolve, and
yes,
we come here to break patterns that have been occurring for God knows how long.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. And we have been choosing this in order to rectify that, and not just rectify, perhaps direct it to a more constructive existence that is deeply fulfilling. Yeah, I could keep on. I also think that we get reincarnated and people have a different role in our lives that would potentially have a part to play in our lives. I mean, think about how many people you know just through your family. There's quite a lot there, no?
Yeah.
And maybe we are exchanging responsibilities or roles. And maybe everything is just a reflection of us. And therefore, we have a responsibility to be tolerant of others so that they can be tolerant of us. And we'll keep coming back until we break the cycle.
Tell me about the cycle.
Well,
you're referencing the birth cycle or the patterns of maybe
humans, the patterns of humans on the broad aspects of things, but also on the individual.
Yeah.
I speak for myself again. This is better that way. I am a creature of habit. I have made mistakes repetitively, and things happen in their essence, and I witness them. But I also have accountability in creating good from these indecisions, decisions, outcomes, And the best intent that I can put forwards is to alchemize, you could say, or to hopefully redirect and navigate something that is a whole lot more meaningful and deliberate. Otherwise, in the chaos realm of things will just continue repeating and you'll fall into the same patterns and nothing will evolve. You'll always go back into what you only know. And that's the cycle.
And one could say hell.
I think we live in hell. Well, no, we live in heaven and hell. There's a Polaris.
Purgatorial domain.
Yeah, okay. Shakespeare said we live in hell. Maybe that was in one of his plays, but
but that last part that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like the pits of hell is one in which you're looping. And it is darker and darker and darker and darker. And you're not necessarily evolving per se, you're like almost devolving, or you're looping in the same level of consciousness,
which is very
easy to do, and also sucks when you're at a place where you're, let's say, Adolf Hitler and you come here to kill people, and like that's not the best role to play. Like you kind of come out of it.
That wasn't just one individual. I just want to say
right,
that.
Yeah, no,
he's not just the only four guy, but he definitely didn't slow that train from going forwards. That's for sure.
Right. You hit the nail on the head, man. I feel like the way you spoke that was so beautiful. Wow. Incredible.
Thanks. I really took a moment and kind of went into that and let that come out. Thank you.
Praise the Lord you did, because like I said, if there was a button on that panel right there, I would push it. There are some buttons. Let's try this. Oh, didn't hear anything.
No worries. Good for trying.
It said applause, and I was like, oh,
go
cool.
on. Maybe hit it again.
Maybe it played it over in the background of the editing.
Okay.
And we'll hear it. I don't know.
It's great to have the crowd behind us.
Yeah. So loved everything you said. I actually feel like your articulation was so spot on. I'm stoked for that to be a separate individual video as a piece of content, because part of what happens with this podcast is like these moments where if you were to make a little applause go off, is these are the moments that get pulled out and put on display on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and shot through the matrix.
Yes. Through the ether.
Through the ether. I like the word matrix for where this all goes.
Okay.
Because the Matrix is
mycelium.
That too, right? But so you've seen the Matrix, the movie, right?
I love the Matrix.
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Ones and zeros, the man's plugged in.
Yeah. The blue pill.
When you're on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or Facebook. Or TikTok.
Yeah.
Or even YouTube.
Guilty.
For sure. No, it's fine. Yeah. All 99% of mankind at this point. I would say you're in the Matrix if I was to define that. Now, it's not actually where you are. You know what I mean? But like your attention is going into a realm that is electronic and is created by mankind and is still an aspect of God in that which it is, because it is, an aspect of the creator, and that's great. But like you're really out of this where we are now.
Yeah.
You're really out of that. If you're scrolling through the feeds.
Yeah.
There's this good intuitive empath I do calls with sometimes, and she said, Taylor, like for me, because I was asking her what are the best platforms to put this type of content on, and we were feeling into where the average human being is on different platforms, and so we're feeling into TikTok, and she said TikTok, this is really a platform where a lot of people are just like going there to get out of their body.
Right. Well, it's a fact, but just on the note of the social media.
Yes. Great topic.
Really expansive topic. I want to go back to when I was speaking about churches, about those great big buildings to the skies.
Yeah.
And if we look at that, even Babylon, I think, or even if you look at all of these great, majestic, holy buildings, even pyramids, even obelisk, they're reaching for the heavens.
Wow.
They're trying to exceed each other. There are forms of networks. If you look at the Camino de Santiago, which goes from the Pyrenees to Santiago de Compostela, which travels through Europe, these are networks. These are drop-off points. These are sharing information.
Wow.
Right.
This is incredible.
Right.
Wow.
And they all link from the Vatican. To some extent, they are. They're all. This is the beginning of social network, and it's done through the inebriator or the substrate in this. The substrate is the church, because that's a great way for information to be able to move. That's a great way of everybody being on the same page. That's a great way of spreading the word.
The word.
Right. So
this is incredible.
I reckon this is a bit mind-blowing, and I don't know what the audience are going to think of this concept, but if we look at religion like this, how I've just expressed it, it's a network, it's sharing information, it's also a great way to checkpoint, we're this is the checkpoint, we've got to pass on this information to there, this is the what would you call the network database. This is where the database. This is where the information is stored. So that's the Vatican.
It's the Vatican.
Right.
We love the Vatican.
Okay. Throughout time of our species in this civilization, for thousands of years, we've tried to reach to the heavens.
Yeah.
Technology is a manifestation of that, in my opinion, because it's an extension of ourselves, and it's also passing information through. And
mycelium network.
It's a mycelium network. It's branching out.
Wow.
And it's connective. And it's so goddamn unfathomable and vast. And
wow.
My point is,
it
is humans' biggest manifestation to date.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah.
For the reason that you just expressed.
Double-edged sword, one could say.
Yes, and the sword used to be a wand.
Okay. Keep it going. Yeah. This is great.
Yeah, because that's what we'd wave around. It is a double-ended sword.
No, define the wand. What is this? I'm a little bit lost on that one.
Well,
used to be a wand?
I think so.
Tell me what's that in reference to?
Okay, so abracadabra.
Magic.
Okay. Manifesto, wand. Sword, divides. I'm cutting you out. I'm cutting you. I'm terminating you.
Okay.
So the sword is a division. It's almost like you're standing for something and you're going to kill something in the way of it.
I think in my reference to this, I was just saying like double-edged in the sense that you can use it for manipulation, or it is like the word.
Sure.
The channel.
Yeah. And it's great because if you're on social media, it means that, you get to share. And sharing is, I think, a great way for happiness to be expressed. When it's shared.
Yes.
And you shared memories and you shared exposure to the experiences. And people get to see other sides of the world, which is reachable through their phone. But it's dangerous. And the reason that it's dangerous is simply because there's a lack of accountability. I can abuse, I could put out, not that I will, I could be racist from afar, and there'd be no accountability for me. There'll be no one coming to my door saying, you're under arrest, unless I did something terribly wrong. But what I mean is that it's a platform where people can express their negativity and even naming, shaming, or whatever it is, creating an opinionated, unaccountable accusation.
Yes.
That's why it's dangerous. It could be, like you said, the double-edged edged sword. It could be
And I think it's also can be an echo chamber.
Everything perpetuates.
Right? Because it's like where you are is what you follow, and what you follow is what it gives to you. And so like your feed is an echo chamber in relation to your current state of being and what you're vibrationally harmonizing with or attracted to. But okay, was a wand now a sword, and coming back to
manifesting.
Ultimate manifestation of mankind, in a sense that it's carrying the word.
It's sharing
the word.
Yeah, it's sharing the connectiveness, which I think was what
mycelium network
was what religion was initially established for.
Right.
Religion was
first book ever.
No, I don't think it was.
No, like the Bible.
One of them.
But
there was many scriptures for it in China.
Tons of scriptures.
But they would have had checkpoints. I say checkpoints, they should be more like databases.
Databases.
Which is cataloged with information.
Yes.
And then it's shared because it's wisdom, hopefully. And
the same issue happened in the book. Like people would change it, and they would like alter it to make it a little bit more like this, which is in my own personal best interest.
Sure.
And so
oh no, wait, not just that.
Yeah. Tell me.
It's like the Roman Empire. What happened to the Roman Empire? Well, it turned into the Vatican. That's where Rome is. That's where all of these textbooks are.
Wow.
That's where all of this wealth, all this
the
gold,
sacred text,
all the sacred text, all the wealth
stored in this vault,
stored in a vault in the Vatican. And I suppose that
wow, I never thought of it like
that. And so the OG could potentially be the Vatican. And then we go into King Henry VIII, why he broke away from the Vatican. He was paying taxes to the Vatican, and he wanted to divorce his wife, and he couldn't divorce his wife legally because the Catherine of Aragon was heavily associated with the church as a Catholic. And so then he deterred and said, well, we'll have our own church. We'll have the Church of England. And with the Church of England, it means that I can divorce my wife and chop her head off, which he did on numerous occasions, which is unacceptable. But it was almost similar to today's age of Brexit.
Of what?
Brexit.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation.
Wow.
It's like you want to do things on your own without the unification of the rest of Europe for your own selfish means.
Yeah.
And you're going to make sure that everybody votes because this is whatever referendum democracy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Everybody's voting for this choice. No, they're fucking brainwashed. They're watching social media and it's being able to tap into and affect your opinion based on a bias that's going to. It's a damn right scam that we don't even get to be our own sovereign selves because we're influenced.
So much influence
of the outside world.
So much.
That it could be in the unconscious. Like look at Coca-Cola. It's fucking everywhere.
Oh, I know.
Right. Is that, that used to have cocaine.
By God's grace, you somehow transcend all of the influences that were once influential.
Yeah.
By God's grace.
By God's grace.
Amen.
And so I kind of went on a bit of a tangent.
No, I love that though. It was an incredible definition. I was like, wow, that was like, we took a turn and we
did, sorry.
And we went like,
sorry.
Light year. No, I love that.
I went off on one. I went off on one. And I think your initial point was, remind me your initial
Okay, well, I was going on a little bit of a thread about how it was those type of moments that I want to chop up, put into the platforms. My intuitive empath told me like, yeah, TikTok's the platform where people are really out of their body, and then you went into this. And really where I was going with my thread, it wasn't that long. It was just kind of a sense of like, this is the way to reach people. So fuck yeah, I'm going to put it out.
Oh, good, yeah.
Like,
yeah,
yes, I know. I like how
It's accessible.
This is it. This is the like modern day
mycelium
way of reaching
totally
the entire
connected.
forest.
Yeah.
Not just the tree next to me that I can visibly see and speak to, but like this microphone and all this gear and the camera and all this stuff that like then people can receive the transmission.
Sure.
And so the ultimate platforms are all the platforms, really, the big ones: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Sure.
And
we get to filter the content.
We get to filter the content also and choose, you know, what parts go out individually, the whole thing, like, and what platforms it goes on. And you don't know much about me. You don't know anything about me, actually.
No, you're a mystery to me.
But I used to run a marketing agency.
So you were the guy who was feeding the influence.
Coca-Cola.
Oh, was that one of them?
No, but a big brand was one of them. Nestle.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Not joking.
Do you know what they did to the water in Africa?
Mate.
Do you know
Probably best to not bring it up.
Yeah, that's really controversial. So.
No, not because of that.
Oh, because Nestle will shut us down.
No. Just because, like, love my company and what they do. And at the heart of the company is the best intentions of mankind fully. And one of the clients happens to be this incredible brand.
Right.
That has become so massive.
Exponential.
And here we are, the tiniest agency in the world. Relative to all the big names. You got David, Ogilvy, Mathers. You got all the big agencies in the world. And somehow, by God's grace, they decide to send their funds to our small agency.
Wow.
Because there was a being in the company who, she is the CEO and now the primary owner of the company. She connected with somebody that was in it, and this person was a beautiful soul and happened to be put in a new placement in the company, and and they connected, and like, we want to work with you. And so
that's a big company. That's a big fish, and
it's a big fish.
It's a big fish, and you're in a small tank.
And yes, well, yeah, it's a big fish, and we're a tiny fish. Tiny fish.
Yeah. Okay.
Normally, big fish work with big fish. It's just kind of how they go. It's kind of how they navigate. Sure. But anyways, so it was that being, you could say. But this is also why I kind of let go of it all, was because I was like, what am I doing this for? You know, not because of the brands of the clients. Some of the clients were amazing people, like beautiful stuff, whatever. But this is so special to feel like we're capturing the word of God, and it gets to be marketed in a sense of like, okay, now how do you want to put this out? So that it reaches the most people. And what's the purpose behind it? It's not profit.
It's not.
No.
Oh, this. Oh, no, this is not profit. No.
This is just pure service to mankind.
Information send.
And we're just trying to preach to the people, man. Yeah. We're up on the podium, and we got the golden robot, and like the church is beautiful. Like, we're in the church right now.
This is it. We are in prayer.
Yeah, so this is, I don't know, that was the thread that I was going down when you went on that incredible social media thread that's one of my favorite ones anyone has ever gone down, by the way. Your explanation of that, the ultimate manifestation. I've never heard those words spoken.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I really resonate with it.
I'm so glad you do.
It's incredible.
Because for some, that's going to be so far out of their ballpark. and it... This is what quantumplation does when you think about things. When I see human creation in all of its greatness, it doesn't half make me wonder a lot. What's our intention? Where are we going with this? What has this come from?
Yeah.
And that was my affiliation. And actually, I thought of this when I was on El Camino de Santiago. And I was thinking about, so I'm on this walk, which I'm sure they would have probably done this walk with donkeys or horses. You know, it would have been a lot quicker. And what were these pilgrims doing? Well, they were hopefully contemplating too. And and also witnessing the glory of God, which is witnessed every day, hopefully, you know, be that the waking morning of holiness and being able to witness the beauty of it all. And I'm thinking, so what am I doing? Well, I'm kind of taking the path in order to solidify my thoughts. And what am I curious about? I'm curious about the world. I'm curious about what this internet might represent and what it means.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, it makes sense. It's all the same thing. They're all trying to reach out for the heavens. All of the religions were trying to build huge structures. And even in New York, which is probably more driven by Manhattan, which is probably more egoic, but
it's still this sense of like,
it's a sense that I'm more almighty than you, and this is my database.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that was the epiphany that happened on that walk for me, which was a holy walk.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Are you sober?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I took a trip one day. I had been given these drops.
Drops?
Yeah.
Oh, kind of drops.
LSD drops.
Oh,
and
incredible.
I was so...
I knew that this is just such a download. I mean, it's a zip file with like 1 trillion gigabytes. I'm like, how the fuck did you pull this thing out of the ether, man? Where did this come from? So I'm really great.
Yeah, I was so hesitant because I knew that it would be a social interaction of checking into my albergue and also integrating with other people who are doing the walks. And I found it really easy for some reason to integrate when I arrived because they were Germans, and Germans are quite easy to... you can be anyone's Germans because they're anyone too, you know. Sometimes they're socially awkward, you know, for the most part. So
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
before,
it's like
yeah.
I can be anyone. I could be a fucking robot for all they know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy for me to kind of and I remember arriving to this. It was like an albergue slash. Is the word covenant? No,
I don't know.
Convent, where there's like accommodation for these people. And I remember being in the garden in the sun, and it was like September time, so the weather was nice, and I was just meditating on this exceptional trip, and also kind of making my own awareness alive.
Wow.
Feeding into like, what the hell are humans doing? You asked me like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the main questions. Like, what are we doing? Where are we going? What's happening? What's the latest, you know, craze? What's that going to offer? Is that going to help our evolution, or is that going to have opposite, contrary effect? And
wow,
when you say scrolling, I totally understand the disorder that it could bring, because it takes you away from this presence, this light, this,
which is already like, wow.
And it's not helping us in creating our own experiences and having exposure and exploring and walking and being in nature and having that connective foundation, which is part of us. This is our habitat. We come from this.
Yeah.
We have come this far to be here.
Yeah.
Thousands of years. And now we're here living it up in this heated home and computers.
Yeah.
And it's like,
all this stuff.
Yeah. We're in Neptune on the bubble. We're floating through the stratosphere.
We got to tell people what Neptune is before this episode.
Yeah. helpful. Yeah, because they're gonna be like, "Where's this Neptune?
Why do they keep referencing this?"
I can only see Uranus.
Classic.
So yeah, I really do quite a lot of open thinking, and I also find psychedelics very helpful for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they draw. When you said earlier on, take how many ever steps back?
Take you out of your body. Oh, 1,000,000 steps back.
1,000,000 steps back. And then look at this perspective. And then seeing it from a whole new angle, which could hopefully offer some sort of insight.
Insight, yes.
Intel. And then and then hopefully gain from how to improve or how to adjust or how to
be more wholesome.
Be more wholesome.
Have a more clear view.
Yeah.
Less distortions in the lens.
Yes.
One could say.
It's all noise. It's all noise. And yeah, so I suppose that humans have manifested this great computer, which is offering some great assistance and being all well and connected.
Yeah.
And the ability of sharing information, which is vital.
Wow.
And it's our responsibility to take care of that powerful mechanism.
Right.
And use it for the right reasons. Not to necessarily influence people for primary economic gain.
Yeah.
Which I think is far too prevalent in the world that we live in, and we're taught, as you might have been taught, or as I've been taught, or any Western worldly human has been taught, that we are taught what to dream. We're taught this is the dream, this Ferrari.
Yeah, big house,
this
like,
house,
pretty girl,
this
kids,
this
template.
It's such a great template. It's such a dream. Good. It's like really.
Oh, it's incredible. The Ferrari, man.
The Ferrari. Oh, this is my aspiration. Like that. I'm gonna get that
mega yacht.
Mega yacht. That's I don't know how I forgot that.
How'd you forget?
God.
Maybe a castle.
Yeah, I would love a castle.
I would too.
I think I would like a castle because they were built very strong and they were full of
ancient.
Yeah, they were built strong to last, and
there's so much love that got poured into them.
Yeah,
to
there's
build
a
them.
lot of love.
How much like human energy went into it?
How many men did it take to build that, and how many resources, and how many efforts was it to protect, and how many efforts was it to? I think a lot of greatness came from these societies who could try and protect and honor this beautiful church or castle or whatever might have you. But now it's a mega yacht, and the trouble with the mega yacht is it's also going to burn all the resources, but it's not it's not necessarily going to be just for.
It's a bit grand.
Yeah, it's very bougie. And it's not just for the likes of 100 people. It's more for the likes of the 0.0001%.
Yeah.
And that's touchy, but that's the realistic aspect that I'm kind of viewing it from in this ostentatious and affordable creations, which are another manifestation of man.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Oftentimes more rich.
So much more. So much. So like the Great Divide is so much more yes,
rich.
Like so much.
Oh wow.
And yeah, that is almost incomprehensible.
Gucci flip flops, $550 American, or right. So much more,
or barefoot and just really taste the earth with your feet and get grounded and try and like feel that real.
Now you're a hippie. I gotta take a piss. Hold on, and we'll wrap up here pretty quick. And like maybe you got kids, man.
I do,
and this is such a special thing.
It is extremely special, and it is such a sacrifice.
Wow.
And I think that I never planned for it.
Yeah.
You know, I never had that consecrated marriage or partnership where I felt that that person is going to be in my life for the rest of my days.
Yeah.
And that's really, really quite a fundamental part to having a family, I find. Yeah.
So yes, all of that. Yes. I want to just like for context, so you have one kid that's 13 and then one that's 1.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to meet River.
River's on his way, yeah.
I'm so stoked tomorrow, right?
He's coming, yeah. They're coming to visit, yeah.
Amazing.
And my other son is in Austria. His name is Philip.
Philip.
Yeah.
Different women.
Different women.
Different women.
Yeah.
And
I was 22
22.
when Philip came about.
Wow.
And yeah, the other
Tell
one.
me the story of Philip real quick. And I know it's a tough one because real quick is like a child.
Yeah, child.
Man.
So bless Philip, who I saw just last month.
Aw,
Yeah,
amazing.
I went to Austria to visit, and he was such a great kid. He really was.
Dude, how was that? 13? He's like,
he was funny. He kind of reminded me of me a bit. It was a little bit strike of rebellion and a bit of a tough, like, smart ass, not smart ass, but like a bit tough, you know, like he isn't gonna mess with me. And I'm like, yeah, I like this kind of cheekiness. This is exactly how I was, very cheeky as a kid. And I would be cheeky to my elders. I'd be cheeky to my sister's mates who were like a couple of years older. Yeah. So that was really cool to see him. And
yeah,
I felt his spirit in his. Yeah, he was quite the joker. Like I ordered falafel. We went to a restaurant. I ordered falafel.
Yeah.
And
falafel for the Americans listening.
Yeah.
Falafel.
And they came to the table and they kind of had these like falafel balls. Yeah. And I'm like, is this it? And he speaks German. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
So I've gone like, is this right? I'm pretty sure there's more to this. Like, I'm pretty sure it should be a wrap. Like, here's the menu. It says it here. Yeah. But you asked for falafel. I'm like, I didn't just want the ball. You know. I wanted to have the whole thing.
The order.
Yeah, the order of it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And then he turned around, said to his colleague, "Effing tourists," as a remark.
No, he didn't.
He did. And then funny Philip goes, I thought he was having you on for a second. Like, I thought he was having a joke on you. I thought he was having a joke on you for a second. Yeah. I really thought he was too. You know, it's funny you point that out. You have a sense of humor. And then he goes, yeah, he just said fucking tourist when he turned around to his friend. And I said, oh. But he laughed. We laughed. We laughed. We took some photos as well, and I gave him my pint of beer that I just ordered, and I was like, "You have that for the photo." We'll put the timer on, and he was really up for it. So,
that's incredible.
Yeah, it was really cool, and he, he's been brought up by his grandmother, and his grandmother is also raising his cousin Hannah. And they're the same age, so they go to the same school.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
That's really
wow.
good.
That was a little union that they
chose
together.
They've chosen a union, and they're both the same age, and they go to the same school, and they've known each other and grown up with each other for their whole time. And the grandmother has had a huge amount of influence on these.
And she's probably so happy.
She's great, and she's also very.
To have them, you know what I mean?
You know, she kind of kicked her daughter to the curb for her own reasons, and her daughter suffered, but her daughter also had psychological problems and was in a psychiatric ward and wasn't being a present mother, or even, I think she had issues with drugs, to be honest with you, which is quite common in some places, especially being them so isolated. Like, what are you going to do if you're not inspired and you don't have something to pursue? It's kind of understandable if you can't find that healthy sort of connection towards something. Source, or even it could be community that can really help too. And so they got custody of Philip when he was 3, and now he's 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
So grandmother, your side?
Grandmother on his side. Philip's mother's mother is taking care of Philip.
Yeah, Philip's mother's mother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that what grandmother is?
Yeah.
I thought it could have also been from your side.
No, I have a grandmother too.
Yeah, okay.
Or
I was wondering if it's your side or her side.
Her side.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
So wait, takes custody at 3.
Yeah.
What about mom?
Mom falls off the wagon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, mom has young boyfriend and bad influences
Wow.
and takes perhaps too many drugs or the wrong kind of drugs and drinks alcohol.
Did you, how long were you with mum?
I was with, gosh, this is a cycle, hey? So basically, I was with her. We had broken up.
Yeah.
We were living in Spain. She flew back to Austria. I
Yeah.
went to do my second skiing season and arrived quite early there
Yeah.
and met up with her. And then we had this little one night stand.
Oh, wow.
Right. And then get the phone call, or no,
Wow.
she drops into where I was working. I was working in a cocktail bar.
Wow.
And says I'm 3 months pregnant.
Wow.
And I'm like, you're fucking joking me.
Wow.
And I'm going to keep it. And I'm thinking, but we're not together. And and then it was like, but you want to live in Austria. And I'm thinking,
what a moment.
why am I feeling like you're manipulating me and doing it through this method of having a child with me? And, you know, at first I was so fearsome and I felt I was so angry as well.
Right. I can only imagine.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with
But
myself.
I can feel how I would feel that too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I really was guilt tripping for too long.
Wow.
With my head in shame.
Oh.
And also feeling very irresponsible.
All the stuff.
All the stuff. Not being present enough for this guy. I hadn't seen him since prior to COVID. Like, I think it'd been 3 years. So since I saw him, and then I saw him this time. So the growth is just incredible. Like he's taller. He's speaking. Before he didn't speak English. Now he's speaking English, so I can really communicate with him. And
so is this like your first time really like dropping in, maybe, let's say, because he wasn't really speaking English before?
Well, what was great is I have a very good friend who I have known since my skiing seasons, and we've been in touch ever since. And so when I would try and make some sort of field day with Philip, I would include my friend Ollie, and Ollie would be able to to be part of it and then to translate. And also, like, Oliver's a very good soul, a good friend, and he's always wanted children. So he was able to check in with me and be like, he's a good kid, he's quite smart, he's kind of funny. And I'm like, cool, this is really good information, Ollie. Thank you so much. And so very blessed to have these people that could encourage and support me to come and show face and to see my son. But not just that, but to have some sort of understanding of who this little fellow is. Yeah.
Dude, what was it like communicating with him though for the first time? Like in you and him?
It was great. Like he was so excited. Wow. And like I just fed it back. Like I was super nervous and excited. And
you were nervous. Yeah. That's incredible. I love that. I love that. I would be nervous too.
I have butterflies in my stomach, and I'm thinking, gosh, like this kid could totally, resent me for not being present in its life.
For sure,
and
I
would understand.
You would understand.
I would definitely understand. I would be like, you have every right to be angry with me. I have not been present.
And did he express any of that, or like, did you guys have a conversation about
Yes,
that?
we spoke so much, and he had said that it's okay, I understand.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's so big, for
fucking 13 Philip is just like.
And I said to him,
mature.
So mature, like,
and
so well composed.
Wise.
I've just, also very, very, very playful and very fun.
Yeah.
And like
cheeky, man. Cheeky. That's the best.
And I said,
good personality.
Yeah, good personality. Like, I'm so blessed, because when I was that age, I was
so self-conscious and like.
That's a hard age.
It is.
That's the hard one.
And to be cheeky and funny and like quirky at 13, like, good on you.
I'm so glad that I can hopefully establish a more solid relationship with him.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And I try and keep in the loop with him, and time flies so fast. It's obviously quite hard to keep on top of, but I did say, like, if you ever want to reach me, if you ever need anything,
Yeah.
I would, and I last wrote to him and saying, I see these adults in the water with their kids, I would love to take you surfing and hopefully have an adventure with you and get to know you better. And I think that when you're that age, you're very much affiliated with your surrounds, with your culture, with what
for
you,
sure,
with
for
your
sure,
friends,
for
with your
sure.
football.
It's the big, especially 13. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
it's like, so we spoke about him visiting to come to where I was in Spain. And then like, I think he got a bit nervous, which is totally understandable. And I was like, cool, well, just as you know, like I'm here. And if you do want to hang out, then, I'm available for you.
Wow.
Which is great. And every here and then.
That's the best.
Yeah, it is. It took a lot of the pressure off. And I think a lot of the pressure that was initially there was something that I had projected onto myself and kind
For
of.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Felt,
And that's so understandable.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, wow.
Very much. Wow. Yeah.
Philip. We love Philip. Wow, to have him on a podcast here would be so cool.
I think he'd be up for it. He struck me as the kind of fella that would not be too shy from it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Special. It'd be great to do it also with you too.
Yeah. Well, I would love to like get a more clearer understanding of him and.
Yeah, to drop in for 3 hours together would be insane.
It was insane. It was really insane. And it was so cool. And it was so free. And it was
a trip.
I think it would have been a trip for him. Like I said, what's your favorite color? And he goes pink. I'm like, pink, like salmon pink, or what's your favorite color? And he's like, pink. And I'm like hot pink? He's like, yeah. I'm like, sweet. Unique, like, okay.
Wow,
no judgment. Like, that's cool. And
Wow.
then he'd say, he said, you got any girlfriends? I was like, you got any girlfriends you're seeing? He's like, no. And I'm like, got any boyfriends you're seeing? Like, there's no wrong here, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, you be you.
Yeah.
And this is something that I never got the opportunity to be.
For
I felt like I always had to fit
sure.
into the square.
For sure.
And with me, the square, it was like round hole square pin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't fit into that box. I couldn't.
Nope.
And
wow, beautiful.
And so I hope you took something from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like I accept you fully no matter what.
Yeah.
I fucking love you.
Yeah.
It's really what you're saying.
I'm honored that you're
between the lines.
Yeah. I'm honored that I can be here and that we can actually have this relative conversation.
Yeah.
And that you're accepting me for not
Who
being there.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I find really important with having a family, and it's your presence, because it's very much a sacrifice.
Wow.
You have to be there for your family.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know how to at that age.
And the circumstances and everything.
And the circumstances of being in Austria, which thank God is a beautiful place in the world. So when I was there recently, I was like, this is
gorgeous.
Epic.
Wow, I'd love to go and feel it.
Such a good scenery, such
nature,
great, like mountains.
Grand.
Yeah, beautiful, and massive mountains. Wow. And he said, "Oh, I like to be around the mountains. When I don't see mountains, I get a bit scared." I'm like, "Do you like the sea?" He's like, "No, I don't. It makes me feel a bit weird afterwards." I'm like, "We'll work on that
one day."
Yeah.
One day we'll go surfing.
We'll hopefully like go surfing and go for that one. But
wow,
all good. Yeah.
So incredible. That's baby numero uno.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And Dos, man.
Numero dos.
River.
Yeah, river.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another. Do you remember we spoke about the patterns?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go through river, man. I'm so stoked. One, I'm just so excited that I'll get the opportunity to meet him.
Ah, nice.
I love children fully with all my heart. I feel that they are sources of unconditional love.
They certainly are.
And that they are the way.
They are, because they're innocent and vulnerable.
Let's be very clear. They are the way. They're the ultimate mirror. It's children are just such special beings. They're to be revered.
Yeah, definitely.
revered fully.
Yeah, definitely.
Respected, honored, treated with love, nurtured, all of that. So, River, man, tell me about River.
River was another unexpected occurrence.
2 surprises in one life.
2 surprises in one life.
Incredible.
The mother and I had been together, seeing each other for a couple of years.
Okay, wow.
I wasn't necessarily feeling fully fledged towards being in a relationship. I felt like I still had to figure some things out internally for me to feel like I was going to be the best version of myself, and also honoring myself and spending time with myself, you could say.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a little bit of a confliction in some respects to be in this relationship, which I wasn't sure where it was going, because I also, when I did work or have worked, I've been offshore, so I've not been there. And there were moments when I hadn't been there for months at a time, even
more long distance.
Long distance.
Yeah.
We were together, and I said, "Hey, I've got this job opportunity in America. I
Yeah.
think I want to go."
Wow.
And she's like, "Okay, what about us?" And it's like, "Well, I'm not sure, what about us?" She goes, "What about if I plan to come and see you after I finish my season here in Spain?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, like I'm open for it." She's like, and I don't think I came from my deepest truth, because if I was being realistic about it, I should have been like, "Well, this is going to be quite hard, and I don't know if we're good for it." And it's not a practical relationship.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a practical relationship, not that they exist, but in my mind, if they did exist, then there would be a lot of presence there, and there'll be a lot of growth there, and there would be a lot of commitment there. So it wasn't looking very promising. And so when she did come at the end of that 3 months of working on a boat, bless her, okay, she said, let's not do that again. That's not going to work. And I'm like, yeah, that definitely didn't work. I didn't like it. And she's like, yeah, I feel like we need to be with each other in order for it to fully function. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I relate to that. Thank you for being so patient and understanding on my process too, that I need to hopefully make money and be working offshore.
Yeah.
Which she did, bless her. And so we went to Mexico for, I think, a month, and we traveled Mexico a little bit, and we had a really good time, and really good food. We had really good connection, and we did fun stuff. And then I went back to America with her, and she joined, and then she wasn't feeling it, and she said, "I'm going to go back to Spain for Christmas." And I'm like, well, we know what that means, don't we? That means that we're not on the same, we're not aligning here.
Yeah.
And so she basically went back to Spain and then gave me the phone call before Christmas. I'm pregnant. And I'm like, this is intense.
Wow. Wow.
But I definitely cowered in the face of it all. I was really like, whoa, I'm not prepared for this. I'm not ready for this. I've conveyed that this is not part of my path right now. And I think this is probably why he has the name River, because he's coming whether you like it or not. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so bless her strength for honoring this child.
Yeah. Fully.
Like,
Bless.
yeah, fully. Because I was away still working. And then I quit my job, and I took a delivery back to Europe so that I could see her, and then it happened. I think the anticipation of it was a bit more difficult than the actual reality of it. I was really anxious before.
For sure, I can feel that, like, in myself, feeling into the scenario and the situation.
I was really scared.
Wow, round two.
This is another pattern that's hasn't been. Yeah. And so he's relatively new. He's 1 year and 3 months, and he's a character, and he's a beautiful little boy, and I'm so excited to get the opportunity to see him, because her and I, we have disagreements.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a huge amount of expectation and pressure on me to fulfill the
fatherly role.
the fatherly expected role, and I feel ill-equipped to provide emotionally, and yeah, this is why
Emotionally.
yeah.
Why? Wow, I feel like you're so deep.
I am deep, but I'm also.
You mean just like the time, the ability to give the time to provide?
That's it.
Okay, cool. Because I was gonna say, I feel like you
Yeah.
have all the love in the world.
Yeah, I really can share that love, and I really love to share the love with this beautiful child. I also recognize too that there's a capacity, and my capacity is dedicating time in another field in order to sustain these types of things. And that's a relevant concern. And I feel like it came at a time when I was quite focused on what I considered to be the path for me that I must pursue in order to attain what I had envisioned. And my envision was to have the house so I could offer that security and the stability necessary. And also the lifestyle. Like the lifestyle has got to be a key and foremost in keeping young and healthy, and having like outdoor life, and having an ocean next to you. And this is all what I would consider to be vitally supportive on like a good, vibrant vitality existence. So yeah, I'm currently in between this storm, and also recognizing the great opportunity it's providing for me to hopefully work through my shadows and be more supportive of this great child who I'm a father of, and to hopefully have enough presence for him in his life that
he may blossom.
May he blossom, and may our relationship blossom. And may this initial kind of what would feel like a little bit of a curveball turn into a great opportunity to learn and to share and to honor.
Be love.
And be love. And not allow the emotion of it to
and just trust in God's grace.
And trust in God's path. Like this is
the path.
This is the path. Like, you can't just hold it.
It's the infinite river.
It's the infinite river of life, and you can't deny it. You can only accept it and be congruent with it.
You can try to swim against the flow, but you'll still be carried, and you might as well just let it carry you.
Exactly. And when you do go with the flow, you don't waste so much energy. And you also can find comfort in that.
You find peace in it. You start to just feel how, wait, I am taken care of. What? This is a little bit weird. I thought maybe it wasn't going to be this. Like this, and this feels really good.
I don't think that there isn't. It's a hard one. Like when these things happen, you can deny them, which I did initially.
Yeah, for sure.
I was in denial, and I was just like, no, this is not. I'm not for this. I'm really just acting up against it, and then hopefully seeing it like this could be the biggest blessing of my life.
Yeah.
I need to work towards that.
That's
I'm
important. Grateful for this.
Yeah, I'm grateful. And I think that's our standing point. That's our standing point as well. It's like, I've delivered you this child into this life. Like, worship the fact that I've been so selfless in doing this for you.
Wow.
And I think that I definitely need to give her that support.
And what's that dynamic like? Like, is she planning to take care of the child for some time? You are sometime, and it'll kind of switch, or because you guys aren't together.
No. Well, we've been apart now for 3 months. We're trying to make it work. She'd finished it with me numerous occasions and said, "This
Uh,
isn't right for me. I deserve better." And like, actually, that's fair enough. I see your point. I'm always going away, and it feels like I'm abandoning her,
uh,
and I can relate. Um, so now that that's off the table,
yeah,
I feel like it could take a lot of the pressure out. And I know that she's obviously going to develop her own resentments and has been resentful towards me because of my choices or because of my actions and
yeah.
because of how I've shown up to her during this whole,
Yeah, sure. Of
yeah,
course, of course.
yeah. So I think we used to be really good friends.
Oh,
And the,
I pray that you guys find that.
yeah, and that's the approach. Like
Right.
that's
Let's be
like,
really good friends again
yeah,
and
let's
share
just,
this life
yeah.
of a being that we've created
Yeah,
together.
I would really hope that that was the viewpoint, that it wasn't going to get misconstrued
Yeah.
with any kind of emotion or expectation.
Mm.
And I can only hope for the best, but I need to be very clear about
Yeah,
that.
wow. Yeah, there's got to be some
Yeah,
10
like,
out of 10 clear communication
yeah,
around all of it.
yeah,
Wow.
needs be. For the sake of him, and we have to see past ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
suddenly we're not the most important characters.
Wow, it's so beautiful. It puts you out of yourself and into that which is the future of all of mankind.
The future
Of all of
of all
mankind.
mankind. And imagine if we have this creation where they don't feel the love that they
Yeah.
full rightly deserve.
Yeah.
And that's my responsibility.
Wow, you're navigating those waters right
And
now.
I'm navigating those waters. I'm hopefully
Wow.
being able to make that time and share that love and create something a bit more
Wow.
structured for this kid, you know?
Well, it doesn't. I don't know if it, like I get when you reference pattern, what you are referencing, but it really feels like you're breaking the pattern by fully saying, "Okay, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do my best,
Yeah.
and I'm not just gonna be away from this. I'm not gonna avoid this. Like, I'm fully gonna make an attempt to the best of my ability, given
Mm,
all circumstances.
mm,
You know." And I think
definitely.
that is the breaking of the pattern, right?
I think the breaking of the pattern is more so owning up to the responsibility that's carried with it.
Yeah.
And then also,
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
hopefully, or no, creatively allowing for that little beautiful bundle of joy to get to know one another
Yeah.
and like have him know me as his father. And
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest, it is a little bit disconcerting, as in, like,
Disconcerting.
it's like it troubles me internally because I have to be very present and I don't want him to have all the um I wouldn't like for him to have the bad traits that I have, if that makes sense. You know, I wouldn't want him to, for example, have a short temper, which
Do you have a short temper?
I used to have a terrible temper.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And my dad still does have a bit of a temper. It's not healthy. And my mother too. Like when I said the
Yeah,
Rottweilers,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, they.
So interesting. I haven't felt that in you at all.
Oh, I can no. It's there. It's there, but now it comes to the surface only when it needs to, and it doesn't really need to. It's
Yeah.
more like a level of this is what I can tolerate and this is what I can't tolerate. And I
Mm.
think before it was not able to understand this huge charge of emotion of
Uh.
temper and feeling unsafe and also feeling
Yeah, yeah.
unloved
Yeah.
and not feeling respected.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
these are kind of survival instincts. This
Yeah,
is
yeah. For sure.
what you might consider um, coping mechanisms.
Right.
And now realizing that there's a monkey brain up there, and
Ah.
there's
Sweet reptilian brain.
yeah,
Primal.
and there's also a greater essence of divinity that needs more accessibility, and really getting attuned with this is how how to bring the best in every circumstance and carry that forward, not the other baggage, which is ancestral twine from however many
who knows,
ancestors, but needs to be broken. And this is part of our evolution. This is part of the greater work that we're sent here to do, hopefully. Break that pattern, which isn't necessarily mine. It is mine because I've brought this pattern,
and also a collective,
and also the collective, and also my genetic, but the collective. And it's funny, all of it. And this is quite funny. It's not funny. It's coincidental. It's not even coincidental. My mom's dad was never present.
Okay.
He had another family.
Oh wow.
And he had multiple children.
Wow.
With multiple women.
Wow.
And I think that's not me, but there's something genetic about that.
Yeah,
perhaps.
for sure. There's some weird little thing going on.
A little bit of Latin American love happening here. Like,
wow.
And I need to make sure that I don't want that. I mean, I've got that, but I mean, I'm going to, do you know, I'm going to hopefully step it up a bit more and
heal the whole thing,
upgrade and heal that pattern.
Transcend it.
Transcend, exactly. Wow. Transcend it.
It's incredible. This is your life's work.
This has given me
an
a
aspect
purpose
of your life's work,
aspect,
but it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
And what an opportunity to be of service to mankind.
By hopefully being able to bring the best parts of me and offer it to my sons. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's the ultimate undertaking.
It is the greatest thing to be able to give. Wow. And probably the most rewarding as well.
Right?
I'm yet to find that out.
Yeah, you can only imagine, like, you're in your 60s and you got these
kids who are,
you programmed them.
No, I don't want to program them.
I know what you mean, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I want to say
influence them and try to give them the qualities that you know that are in the best interest of mankind to have.
I would love for that.
Yeah.
I would really love for that. And sometimes I felt ill-equipped about it. Like, how can I provide? How can I support?
You're fucking incredible. I know I barely know you. But just based on this 2 hour and 50-minute, 17-second podcast, I feel like you're amazing.
Oh, thank you, brother. That's so
like amazing.
No, bro. Yeah. You're amazing. Do you want to do a thing?
Yes.
Is this guy a swinger? Like, Nah, I'm not getting the swinger vibe. Well, I wonder what you mean.
You were like, what is this? It's just me and you, man. It's just kind of like this. What does that mean?
Yeah. I'm here for this. Really.
Yeah, but like, I don't have any doubts in you.
Based
on my, probably 4 hours of time with you in this life.
Wow. Yeah.
It feels like you have such an understanding, and I honor that fully because you're conscious, man. You're fucking conscious. You have the awareness. You're speaking from this place of seeing it from that 10 million feet out view where you're standing on Neptune looking at the situation on Earth. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is an undertaking and I am going for it to the best of my ability. And the way you speak about it says everything. The way that you greet me in the mornings and smile says everything. It's very obvious that you have the capacity within you fully to take this and fully heal it and fully love it and take great joy in this human experience. Amen.
Amen.
So it just feels like, wow, dude. And I, like I said, I'm so stoked to meet River.
Nice.
I have a sweet spot in my heart for children, and it just started only like 4 months ago
Oh,
because
wow.
this couple in Vinal where we live has these twins, and they are so special. Harmony Rose and Poppy.
Harmony Rose and Poppy.
Yeah, and bro, they are wow special. And when I see them, they come to me and they're like, Taylor, like,
they love you.
they fucking love me. Let's go to Taylor's house. like I bought them this little like children's DJ deck.
Yes.
And they're like, dance party, because as soon as you turn it on, it's like, it's a dance party. And they're like, we want to have a dance party. And man, I always joke with their parents, John and Brenna, who are such good friends. I've interviewed both of them on this podcast.
Oh, right.
You fucking love
both
of them.
Nice.
Like, they would love you. It would be the best. But anyways, I tell them this all the time. I'm like, your children are on a full-on LSD journey 24/7.
They are.
They are fully on, like, well, MDMA journey would be a better description, because
it's
they
all
are just
love.
blasting
love.
And what's incredible is when they're not, is it on the other side of the spectrum?
It is.
Yes, because sometimes there's been moments where, you know, the little spirits come in and somehow get a little attachment somewhere. There's a lot of intuitive empaths in Vinal that can help clear the spirits. But anyways, it's been incredible to witness them. They're such lights. They are so intuitive. They're so tapped in. And they remind me of just being a child and being in joy all the time and feeling like life's the best. Oh my God, every moment is incredible.
Yeah.
And even when they're tripping out and they're maybe having like a bad experience because they want a cake and it's not the best time to have a cake. You can't just have cake all the time.
No.
Whatever. They teach me patience and just in loving the fact that they're screaming and they're purging and this is their way of going through that which they feel like they can't go through. And so many parents, they silence them, they ban it, like, shut up, whatever. Like, you know, they do so many things to like numb their children. Here's an iPad.
Oh, yeah.
Here's this, like, just be quiet. Like, and to see John and Brenna, the way that they hold their children and to be with them in that field and see how it's just like, hey, we're going to sit through this together and just sit through this one.
Nice.
Together.
Yeah.
And see her sit in front of her children, screaming on the floor, rolling for 45 minutes, 2 hours.
Whoa.
Just talking to them, loving them patiently, like hugging them, doing whatever she can to just be loving. Blows my mind.
Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice.
The whole spectrum, it is. The whole spectrum of children, though.
Are you feeling for it?
It'll happen with me and Claudia.
Yeah.
But she's 22, man. And like, she's not ready until like 30, probably 29.
I know, you know, that age is going up. My sister just had a baby and she's 39.
Wow. See, I want one earlier than that.
Yeah, I mean, it means that when your kid's 20, you're going to be 60.
Yeah, I know. See, you do that doubling math type stuff, and it's like, okay, I want to be like nimble still.
Yeah.
Like surf and play football and soccer and all this stuff.
Yeah, when in your 50s and hopefully still kicking large, you know, having the healthy life, which you probably have in a place like Vinal. You maybe...
Fully.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember the place quite well.
Yeah.
And I remember
so good for children too. So safe.
I was thinking it would be great for children.
Safe. Children running around naked all the time.
There
everywhere.
You do. Yeah, that's a good place. That kids need that.
I don't know if we're going to raise them there though. Claudia doesn't necessarily love that place as much as I do.
She doesn't?
No, not as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Side
story.
There's so many beautiful places in the world yet to be explored. I think that place and Costa Rica definitely resonated for me quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the beauty of it. When
Central America's gorgeous.
Central America's very, very incredible.
So soft and just like sunny and it's so temporal, man. Like, you know, it's just like, it's so nice out all the time.
I remember when I was first there and I wasn't used to the heat and it was so humid.
Yeah, it
and
got
there was
to me
no
the first
wind,
year.
And I'm just thinking, this is insane.
Hell.
Like, everybody is locked inside with aircon and I know why. But I also think that in the experience with children, it's really useful that they have a bit more broader aspect of experience.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to mix with kids from all over the world. They've got to play with children. You know, this is how I would really encourage children to integrate in life, to play, to share.
Yeah.
And maybe to be outdoors naked is the right way of and you don't really get that in England.
No, you don't really get that in Canada.
No, you don't.
No, not really in America either.
I was going to say maybe Florida, but then that's not acceptable either. People get offended. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, but it's also, it's useful to know what's more on your path and what would hopefully, bring you that. Kids.
2 hours and 58 minutes, man. Let's bring this girl to harbor.
She's coming down.
Dude.
Thank you so much, Taylor.
What an experience. I just have to say, I knew it was going to be absolutely incredible. You blew my mind fully. And to have you as episode 2 in season 2 is so special.
Who is this guy? Where did he come from?
And one day I'll tell you about me and you'll get to know my Satori story and all this stuff, man.
I'm really intrigued with people who have taken a walk through life in order to sustain that walk and then having realizations and think, wait up a second.
Yeah, hold on,
this
man.
Is,
what am I doing?
This is finite and
yeah.
We're going in circles now.
No, fully. Yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to close this off with a beautiful prayer. And maybe if you want to say some words too, that'd be amazing as we come into harbor and dock in our infinite ocean that we've been sailing on. We went to a lot of different places. Oh, and also for context, Neptune is, what is this? It's a building on the property that we're on.
This is a shared workspace.
A shed workspace.
It's a shared workspace, and it's more looking like a greenhouse because it's
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a wooden structure, and it's been called Neptune, and I think this is Neptune here.
Oh yeah, wow.
There's a face there.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
this is at Terra Lodge in Portugal.
Ericeira, Santo Isidoro. Yeah,
you can come here and stay here. It's very cheap and the most beautiful place.
It is an incredible,
huge
place. Yeah,
we love them. Come here. It's the best.
It's a very peaceful place, and it is a shared space, and so there are other things available.
It's how we met.
It's how we met.
How we came here.
Yeah, Neptune. That's right. That's right. Okay. The blessings of this Neptune.
And Ericeira and all of it.
And Ericeira, definitely.
Well. All right, to thee, O Lord, we give thanks for this wondrous podcast, this beautiful space that we've christened Neptune, and may we all be an instrument of thy sublime peace and love, and may all those who have heard this podcast or tuned into this be able to feel this connection to Source, God, Divinity, whatever name or you want to use. And realize that it doesn't need to occur in a church. It can occur in anywhere at any time because it is in all things. And James wonderfully articulated it in the middle of this 3-hour journey that we sailed upon. So,
wow.
Amen. Aho. Anything you want to add? I would love for you to add.
Taylor, thank you for opening this space and inviting me to join you on this quest.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it, and you're an incredible person to have encountered.
Yeah.
I really love your energy.
Love you too.
And I love your enthusiasm for this and making this sort of thing happen. So I really encourage these onward voyages.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, very, very great to have no expectation, but then being able to convey in my personal experiences. So thank you for asking these great questions and also
Thank you
for
answering.
listening. Yeah. Really exciting. So thank you so much.
Amen, man.
Thank you. Ahoo.
You feel that anchor just
We got a bite with this anchor. We're safe in the harbor now.
Yeah. Oh, dear Lord. Amen. out of the ship, man. It's a journey coming out of this thing. It's a journey.
What a ride.
Purity Pals production, yay!